Alright, are we on? Yeah, there we go. Wow, it's working. Hello, we're gonna watch some stuff. Like the stream, etc. Alright, let me just figure out what I'm fucking doing. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing well. I have a video that I'm working on about Helen Weberly. I think it should be done by like Monday, Tuesday-ish. There's only a little bit left to do. I'm gonna record it on Saturday, I think. So we're kind of at a loose end, I guess. So we're just gonna watch some shit, I guess. Starting with apparently Billboard Chris got ganked again. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Let me just make sure the thing's looking okay. Yeah, apparently Billboard Chris got ganked again, so we're gonna start with that, I guess. This person is gonna assault Billboard Chris in Vancouver. He was spat on by one man. Oh, that's the thing, actually. They're separate videos. Within 4 minutes, he was spat on and assaulted, which, by the way, you shouldn't do. It's a bad thing to do. Don't assault people. Doesn't matter if they're a shitter or if they're anything else, quite frankly. So yeah, apparently someone spat on him too. We'll see this first, and then the other one, and then we'll watch. We'll just see what he's talking about recently. Make sure you like the stream. Don't forget you can join the channel on YouTube. You can join my Patreon, and the link's in the description. If you want to support me further, you can super chat and your message will be heard on YouTube or Streamlabs. I have music in my description too. You should check that out. Okay, so this guy spat on him and then the other person attacked him. So we'll see what this was.
Look at this little fool. I've been out here 1 minute.
Oh, so we didn't even catch it on camera.
Look at this little fool. I've been out here 1 minute, and this guy just decided to spit at me. Hey, what's your name, bro?
My name is Donna Morgan.
Why do you want to sterilize kids, I wonder? Huh? Oh, you think that's funny?
Man, think of a better line.
Oh, we got another one. Look at this guy.
Think of a better line than that, freak.
No, seriously, why do you want to harm kids? What do you think's happening? Stopping puberty, giving them the wrong hormones. See you, child abuser. Come on back. Here we go. A child abuser. I called you a child abuser because that's what you're promoting.
I don't have kids. B,
Obviously.
you better watch that you
Obviously you don't have
You
kids.
better watch that you don't
Or
say
what?
that to the wrong person.
Or what?
Okay?
What are you going to do?
I'm not going to do anything. 'Cause
Correct.
I got better things to do.
Right.
One of these days you're going to say
All
it
you
to the
got
wrong
good to do is
person,
just
all right?
spit at people because you're a
Will you
little
go fuck
coward.
yourself?
A childless coward who wants to sterilize kids.
For Christ's sake.
Go learn something.
You get the fuck out of my
See you later.
Fuck.
Oh well.
Incredible. Okay, the other one was this one. So this person attacked him. So this must have happened like a couple of minutes after what we just saw, apparently.
Come on, man. Come talk. Here we go. Oh, here's another one.
Look at him.
What's up, bro?
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do this, by the way. Don't do this. Really not worth it. He's some dickhead in a fucking billboard.
What's up, bro?
This fit is a little awful, by the way. Like, if you've got the muffin top thing going on, maybe just wear something that covers it up, to be honest.
Bro?
Hey.
Yeah.
You're asking for it. I saw him hit you.
So
Now you're stalking her.
this guy just
Now you're
assaulted me.
stalking her.
I'm getting you on video.
Stalking her.
He's
I don't know what the fuck this person's doing, by the way. Your mate just attacked someone, like, maybe just shut the fuck up.
broken my equipment. He came and
You
assaulted
haven't
me.
done shit.
And I'm
You're
going to
an
get
asshole
police
and you've been
involved.
asking for it. You know it.
We got this guy here too.
Oh, this guy. Yeah. Anybody would
Keep
believe
going.
that. You're obsessed with children's genitals. Why are you obsessed with children's genitals?
You're the one who
You are
thinks they
so
should be cut off.
disgusting. You are so disgusting.
What's your name?
Her name is Shut the Fuck Up.
All right, so I'll be contacting the police, and I will find out your identity, and I will be pressing
Yeah,
charges.
you're just standing here trying to attack people. Are you going to push charges on me too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See you
you're gonna
later.
try. Obsessed with children's genitals. Keep your children away.
Wow. Sorry, it's gonna autoplay. Incredible. Yeah, don't assault people. It's not a good idea. Anyway, so apparently this is what he was doing. Having debates, etc. I think he's copying that Billboard Steve guy who appeared recently. Who I think has overtaken him by now, actually. Yeah, 80.1k subscribers. He's actually overtaken him. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what kind of conversations he's having these days, I guess.
What's going on? Hey?
How old is a child?
You want to talk on camera at all?
Preferably not. I was just curious.
Well, it's as soon as puberty starts. Tanner stage 2 is the technical term of puberty, so that's when they're maybe 10, 11, 12. It's like when you first get your pubic hair kind of thing.
Yeah, and then so obviously in your situation, children would go up to what age when that kind of stop, I suppose. Like, and then in your opinion, they can give consent.
Incredible audio, by the way.
Well, certainly never as a minor, period. Now,
So
when
under 18.
Yeah, but even at 18 and 19, doctors should be practicing medicine. And they should be practicing their Hippocratic Oath, which is first, do no harm. They shouldn't just...
He really essentializes so fucking hard these days. If you disagree with him, you're a child abuser. You practice gender-affirming care, you're contravening your Hippocratic Oath or whatever. It's very, very lazy argumentation, I would say.
They can give consent.
Well, certainly never as a minor, period. Now,
So
when...
under 18.
Yeah, but even at 18 and 19, doctors should be practicing medicine. And they
Should out-hat Steve. He did have a hat one time. It's just going to take me a short while to find it. But he's done the hat thing before. A little while ago now. Like I said, it's going to take me a short while to find it.
Okay, well, we can't do everything.
He's done the hat thing before.
Excuse me, I was just assaulted. I'd like this person arrested. We have it on video.
He wore like a little ice cream yarmulke that one time.
Are you going to do anything?
Do you know who it is?
No, but it's on video.
That woman who turned up over there.
Do you know the details?
See? He's done the hat thing before.
They should be practicing...
He's already ripping off Billboard Steve, like, way too much as it is. So, like, if he wore a hat too often, then it would just be too obvious, to be honest.
their Hippocratic Oath, which is first, do no harm. They shouldn't just be order takers where an 18-year-old girl says, I want testosterone and I want a double mastectomy.
Yeah.
They should be screening for trauma. They should be screening for abuse. They should be looking into other mental health comorbidities because invariably these kids and these young people have other...
So what happens if they're traumatized and have, like, have been abused and shit like that? But they also just probably should transition. Like, you wonder what his model of care looks like.
things going on.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
We don't cut off a leg if you want your leg cut off. We would say you have some sort of mental illness. It's actually a condition called apotemnophilia, where people feel like their limbs don't belong. And in the past, they actually have cut off a couple limbs of men.
Yeah.
And for them, it was actually a sexual fetish.
Thank you.
My pleasure. But You want to talk on camera at all? Okay. No problem. But, and for them it was actually a sexual fetish.
Thank you.
My pleasure. But,
Oh, it's just someone agreeing with him. Wow. Is transitioning the right answer to trauma? Well, it's not an answer to trauma, is it? It's an answer to having gender dysphoria. What I'm saying is two things might coincide, but just because someone's got trauma, that doesn't mean that they therefore should never transition, you know? Transitioning is never an answer to trauma, you know?
you want to talk on camera at all? Okay. No problem. But mental illnesses aren't cured by dealing with the body. It's not cured by sterilizing people. It's not cured by cutting off body parts. We should deal with...
Very, very broad statement here. Does it not seem to help some people with their mental health?
Dealing with the body. It's not cured by sterilizing people. It's not cured by cutting off body parts. We should deal with the mental health issues. This ideology...
Yeah, deal with the mental health issues how is what I'd like to know, I guess.
...is entirely false. We don't have gender identities. Nobody is transgender. We have different personalities. Some boys are more effeminate. Some girls are more masculine. Fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're transgender.
Yeah, as long as you're not a male cheerleader. He doesn't like male cheerleaders very much. Be as feminine or masculine as you want. Just specifically don't be a male cheerleader. Hang on, sorry. I should have this kind of shit open when I'm talking about someone like Billboard Chris, because I actually have quite a lot of material on him. I just never used it for anything. Yeah, he doesn't like this kind of thing very much. So yeah, be as masculine or feminine as you want. But this is dancing like a girl. So you can do things that are like, these things should be for boys and these things should be for girls. You know what I mean? And yeah, we've got this Colin Wright tweet. Is it okay for a male to be a cheerleader? Most people saying yes. And Billboard Chris saying, not if he's dancing like a girl and waving pom-poms. He can be there to support them and to throw and catch them, but not in an NFL dance squad. Like, why? What's his issue there? You wonder. And then we've got... So yeah, some other turf type. Disappointed in Billboard Chris for this. It's a young man in the male's uniform, not in the girl's uniform. He's not identifying as a girl or taking her spot. He's a young man that enjoys dancing. What happened to there is no right or wrong way to be a boy or girl, Chris? And then Chris responds, yes, he's obviously a man filling the role of and dancing like a female cheerleader, and a man I don't want to see on my TV during a football game. If you think all this is new for me, you haven't been paying much attention. So like, it's fairly apparent that he's like decently like socially conservative, which doesn't usually gel super well with the whole there's no wrong way to be a boy or a girl. But more than anything, it sounds like, well, you know, when you're watching the NFL, you need breaks so that you can watch some women dance and get a hard on. And he doesn't want men involved in that because that might mean he's gay. Even the transphobes are distancing themselves from you, dude. You're cooked. Just the feminists, and that's always a good thing. So there you go. Are you a trans exclusionary radical feminist that supports Chris? He doesn't necessarily like you very much, just saying. But anyway, yeah, that's what he's really about when it comes to be as masculine or feminine as you want, you know. It's kind of bullshit, unfortunately.
This idea that we don't have gender identities. Nobody is transgender. We have different personalities. Some boys are more effeminate. Some girls are more masculine. Fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're transgender. This idea that you're born in the wrong body is very harmful. It's a very abusive ideology. They call this gender affirming care. It's sex denying harm. That's all it is. The affirming message is you're perfect just as you are.
It's all about labels, isn't it? It's all about, well, how do I label this as something bad? Which both sides do, to be clear. Very annoying. It's not really an argument to say, well, I'm going to use this label because technically you could, you know, make it logically fit. You could make lots of things logically fit lots of things. It's not really an argument.
You are. And that's the message we should be sending. Thank you very much.
Can I ask a personal question?
Sure. This is a really good conversation.
Yeah.
Sure you don't want to be...
Yeah,
All right.
What's your profession?
This is a really good conversation. He has just been lecturing the whole time.
This is my profession.
This is your and what you did before.
Yeah, I quit my job. I used to be a financial advisor.
Yeah.
And I have 2 girls. I've been at this since 2020.
Doesn't mention the Scientology thing.
So they were 8 and 10 when I started. Now they're 14 and 16. They're not affected by this at all. But I started learning about this. I came
It
across...
was Scientology, wasn't it? It was like an enforcer or something. Hang on. What do I have on this? Not much, I don't think. He was a Scientologist at one point. Hang on. Make sure you like the stream, like and subscribe, all that. Fuck. There was a video about it. I think I saw this. Hang on.
Is he the Chris Elston
Yeah,
of Ireland?
I've seen this before. Hang on. He's not mentioning his he's not mentioning his past as a Scientologist. I can't remember what the good part of this was. Hang on. Sea Org. Yeah, Sea Org is part of Scientology, right?
People who have hosted Chris Elston on their podcast, and he said I have spoken with people who have hosted Chris Elston on their podcast, and he said he did not want anyone to know that he used to be a Scientologist and he used to be a Sea Org member. And I swear to God, when I saw Chris Elston, ex-Sea Org member...
Well, how can there be like levels of like femininity and masculinity in people when femininity and masculinity are like social constructs? Like, we have sex and then we base like stereotypes on them, and that's what we're talking about with like femininity and masculinity, is what we associate with each. So that's then like feeding back around. I think people should be able to be as feminine or masculine as they fucking want, to be honest. If you were more if people were more accepting of like gender nonconformity, less people would feel the need to trans in the first place. And that's the problem with Billboard Chris's like ideology. On the one hand, he'll talk about like there's no right or wrong way to be a girl or boy. And on the other hand, he'll say that there is. And by being too socially conservative and insisting on specific roles for like boys and girls that aren't really actually of their sex, then you're telling them, oh, you can't do this or that because of your sex. Which means that'll feed into them thinking they might be trans if they want to do that regardless, you know?
Chris Elston being retweeted by Elon Musk. I was like, we must be living in the Matrix. I can't even believe this is happening right now.
Well, this is what happened. I saw, and I didn't even know, because just like there's a Scientology activist group or anti-Scientology, there's like a gender, I don't know what they call it. It's like the gender activist group. And some of them are for pro-trans and some of them are anti-trans. Well, Chris Elston got involved in the 2 daughters that are not all.
Here we go. This is an ex-Sea Org member. Billboard Chris is an ex-Sea Org member, ex-Scientologist, and was one of the first people.
We can arbitrarily determine levels to this shit. Yeah, but why? What's the point? Why does it matter if a guy wants to be a cheerleader? Who gives a shit, you know?
In the post-aftermath Scientology movement to actively try to censor and divide people. I think that's interesting to note.
Yeah, no, he really was. And oh my God, I have so many screenshots saved from him over the years, probably like 1,000 of them, because he was messaging.
Okay, I don't know how much interesting stuff there was in here. I've seen this before. Supposedly he emailed himself a death threat. There was something on... Yeah, there's not much. He's kind of scrubbed a lot of this, from what I understand. He was listed on some like ex-member thing, and he was supposedly part of the Sea Org. I don't know where I'd find more stuff. I'm sure I'd fuck. I would have thought I screenshotted this stuff. Oh well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He was supposedly part of the Sea Org anyway, so wow. Anyway.
Term puberty blockers, and I thought, what the heck are those? And I started doing research, and it's totally unbelievable what they're doing to kids, and I just felt a calling to do something about it. So I quit my job in 2020, cold turkey, and I started going out on the street to have conversations because I believe that we have to talk to people face to face, old school. And I knew that if I talked to enough people, well, first of all, I'm educating them.
Again, why does it matter if someone's being performatively feminine, you know? Like, he's doing a performance, he's doing a dance, you know?
And I'm helping parents.
I saw a bit about the Bambi Alva thing. I might look more into it. I don't know. It's a very depressing subject is all. And I really don't want to show, like, super graphic shit on stream if possible. I'll have a bit more of a look through it at some point. I'm quite... At the moment, a lot of stuff is on hold because I need to finish my Webley video.
Especially to protect their kids. But they're going to talk to other people. And some of them are going to get active in fighting this. And whereas nobody was hardly talking about this at all in 2020, now it's one of the #1 cultural items of the day. I think I've activated hundreds of thousands of people to start fighting back. I've reached tens, hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
So I look ridiculous, but it works.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
And I get attacked all the time. I just got attacked tonight.
Yeah, I was curious to see about. I was going to ask you about that as well.
I got a bump on my head. See that?
Yeah. And that's
a trans identified male attacked me today.
Yeah. And so that happens. How frequently would you say? And do you only do this in Vancouver? And do you find different areas have different responses? Or
I've been to about 13 countries. I'm in the States a lot. I've been to Europe a few times. I spoke at the European Parliament twice last year. I spoke at the UN Human Rights Council. I've spoken at the UN in New York. I won a freedom of speech lawsuit against the Australian government last year.
Damn.
I've done this in the UK, Germany, Holland. Got arrested in Belgium. Got arrested here twice. No charges ever.
Yeah.
Always after getting assaulted, or we actually called the police in Belgium because we were being so abused.
Yeah.
And they ordered us to take off the signs and leave, and I refused because I know my rights.
Wow.
And so I'm taking legal action against them now. But no, I've been on a grand adventure for almost 6 years.
Interesting.
And I've been assaulted probably 40 odd times. I've had a good run the last year, actually, of not too many assaults. There's always some.
Yeah.
I've had my arm broken by Antifa.
Wow. How did you know it was Antifa?
Well, they're masked. They're in black bloc. It's Antifa.
Yeah.
You know, they're all...
So he doesn't know they're Antifa, basically.
They're in black bloc. It's Antifa.
Yeah.
You wear a mask and you're wearing black clothes, you must be Antifa, I guess.
You know, they're all... Well, it's 100%.
Yeah.
Well, yes. The people who think I'm the fascist for trying to protect kids.
They could also
the people
just be
who
masked individuals.
No, it was a premeditated attack. They're all in black bloc.
Yeah.
That's what Antifa is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, I just keep going, and if people want to get violent, I guess that's just the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a victim about it, because anytime you push back against something evil in society, this is what's going to happen.
I think it's fair enough to not like people acting performatively in general. I think what I would say, for someone like Billboard Chris, it just doesn't make very much sense with what he wants. Like, he wants fewer people to transition. He wants fewer children to feel the need to transition, which I agree with. I don't think we should be encouraging children to feel the need to transition. It's not a good thing, in my opinion. But then you got to accept them doing what they want to do. Then you got to not tell them, oh, you can't do this and that because of your sex. It just doesn't work. So just having a response to those kind of things is understandable, but his shit needs to make a lot more sense because he's a political activist ultimately.
And we need more people to have some courage.
I mean, it remains like, why would he be bothered about a guy dancing anyway, you know? Is it just that he wants to get a hard-on between plays at the NFL or whatever?
Fair. I support the freedom of speech side of things, and I think discussion's very important. I've got friends on both sides of, I guess, the aisle when it comes to this. But
You Australian?
no, British.
British. I thought so, but then I thought I'd
I get
some Aussie.
Aussie a lot over here. I've noticed.
Well, in Britain they've stopped this.
The
Puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones. Dr. Hilary Cass, a pediatrician with the NHS, did a systematic review looking at all the scientific literature.
And is now supporting a trial for puberty blockers, so she hasn't quite been the one that stopped it, but hey.
And they found there's no evidence to support doing this.
Yeah. And in terms of the suicide rate, because my understanding is, from what I've seen, but may not also be true, is that after the, I guess, the transition, I'm not sure on the right wording on this, but after the transition itself, the suicide rate actually goes up. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct.
Do you know the stats on that? Like what the...
So we don't have tons of studies. The best study we have is from Sweden.
Okay.
I'll reference 2 studies for you.
Yeah.
Sweden and Finland. And these are advantageous studies because,
Those are countries, not studies.
unlike even in Canada, if I go to my doctor and I get a prescription for estrogen, and then I don't go back to that doctor, they have no idea what's happened to me. In Finland and Sweden, they don't have this problem. No one was lost to follow-up because it's one big centralized system. And so with the adult population in Sweden, 10 years after sex reassignment, suicide rates were 19.1 times higher than their peers who had similar mental health comorbidities, 40 times higher than the general population.
We should cite these properly, like name and year and shit like that. It's probably this one. And you've got stuff from the Heritage Foundation and stuff. Like, he'll say that people call him a fascist because they're wearing stuff like this. How much of it is because he associates with, like, the Heritage Foundation and shit like that? Like, is it ADL? Or ADF International? One of them. ADF, I think. He works with a lot of, like, those kinds of people. I mean, I don't know if I'd call someone a fascist based on that purely, but you gotta wonder, I guess. Mortality was higher during follow-up than for controls of the same birth sex, particularly death from suicide. Increased risk of suicide attempts in psychiatric inpatient care. The BMG retired their criticism of the Cass review. I know they initially came out strong against it and then changed their mind. I don't know if they've updated since. I'd have to look into that. If you have a link for me, that'd be great, but maybe I'll look it up. Maybe I should stop being so lazy. Yeah, so this is finding, on the face of it, certainly, that the risk of suicide goes up. I think there could be a lot of reasons for that. You're going to have people that perhaps they don't pass as well as they want to. Like, they are trans, but the limits of kind of the care and so on mean that they're never going to be satisfied. And to be honest, I feel that way a certain amount. But for me, it wasn't, well, I need to identify as a woman at all costs. To me, it was like, well, I guess I need to change my mindset because there ain't nothing else I can really do. I think there's a lot of different reasons it might be like this. So, despite the long history of this treatment, blah, blah, blah. Not sure how deep to look into this, to be honest. The average follow-up time was 11.4 years. Yeah, they always say things like, "Oh, regret takes around 10 years to manifest." This might be it. Some of the suicides are going to be due to regret. Some of them might be to do with, like, the way they're treated in society. There are things that are more difficult in general being trans. I think anyone pinning it on one specific thing, like for a suicide rate, it's a kind of a fool's errand, you know. What they call this the single cause fallacy or something. So transsexual individuals are at increased risk of being convicted for any crime or violent crime after sex reassignment. That's interesting. I imagine trans people are possibly at higher risk of being the victim of certain crime. There's a new video with Dr. Ben and some gorilla hunt. You don't mean Katie Montgomery, do you? You don't mean Katie Montgomery. I was gonna watch, apparently Katie Montgomery's debating again, which is hilarious because she's fucking dreadful at it. I thought she'd fucked off, to be honest. Yeah, it wasn't this, was it? Katie Montgomery's fucking massive, by the way. Fucking absolute unit of a person. Yeah, mortality due to cardiovascular disease. I know you get an increased risk of like blood clots and stuff taking hormones. Possible that they avoid the healthcare system. I guess that could be true. Yeah, continued. They're saying that there's a need for continued psychiatric follow-up. That certainly isn't something that happens most of the time. You don't expect someone like Gender GP, for example, are doing that. Minimal loss to follow-up. Yeah, I mean, bear in mind the other thing is this is one study. This is one study that found the number that Chris is citing. Oh, Riverboat Jack. Oh, that person is fucking demented. If you're a trans progressive with a YouTube channel, you're probably a fucking idiot. Just in general. I'm sorry. I don't know how else to put it at this point. If any trans progressives with YouTube channels want to challenge my assertion there, then feel free.
Suicide rates were 19.1 times higher than their
But yeah, Riverboat Jack fucking sucks. Sorry about it.
peers who had similar mental health comorbidities, 40 times higher than the general population. And with kids, the only real solid study that's been done was in Finland over 25 years, from 1996 through 2019. Over 2,000 kids went to the gender clinic, and they compared that to a sample group of 17,000 kids. There were 7 suicides over those 25 years at the gender clinic. It worked out to an annualized rate of 0.052%. So those are all tragedies, of course. And yes, suicidal ideation is going to be higher with kids who are in so much distress that they think they
I might watch that another time. I want to watch his thing with Katie Montgomery, though.
need to change their sex. But the number one lie always pushed by trans activists is that kids are going to kill themselves if we don't transition them. And it's completely false. And Chase Strangio, a lawyer for the ACLU in the Supreme Court in the United States of America in December 2024, even admitted to it. She was pressed on this issue by one of the Supreme Court justices, and she admitted that, well, yes, actually completed suicides are very rare. And this whole time what they've been referring to is suicidal ideation. Well, the whole time what they've been saying is that kids are actually killing themselves. And they've been using this lie to coerce parents to go along with this. And it's a lie.
Brother, it's nice chatting to you.
You too.
Thank you for the interesting chat. I hope you have a great day.
My pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for stopping by.
All the best.
All right.
There you go. Wow, Billboard Chris. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of these so-called conversations really are just lectures from one or the other. But hey, I'll have a quick look at this because I haven't seen this. So, Doctors Union drops opposition to cast review of NHS gender healthcare. British Medical Association says the review into gender identity services was robust after previously rejecting the findings. Trade union representing doctors across the UK has dropped its opposition. Yeah, I thought they already had. I thought they initially came out saying this is all wrong and it's bad and all this kind of shit, and then quite quickly took a neutral stance on it. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Monty takes precedence. Yeah, of course. It's been a while. So the BMA had previously rejected the findings of the landmark review of transgender healthcare, with the medical body refusing to endorse the report's findings. And yeah, bear in mind, you read the findings, they're actually very sensible. The CAS review got like fucking hella maligned, I thought. The review, published in April 2024 and conducted by Hilary Cass, found children and young people had been let down by a lack of research and evidence on medical interventions, and NHS gender medicine was built on shaky foundations. The BMA's council voted to oppose the implementation of the review, saying its findings were unsubstantiated. On Wednesday, the body published a long-awaited review of Cass's findings, conducted by 12 union members. Professor David Strain. Oh, that's the other thing, by the way. Bear in mind, a lot of the doctors that weigh in on this kind of thing don't necessarily know anything about like trans healthcare. Anyway, Professor David Strain, chair of BMA's Board of Science, who led the review, said that Cass report's methodology was robust and the BMA was no longer opposed to any of its 32 recommendations. The strength of this work has been the ability of clinicians with differing perspectives to engage constructively to ensure the concerns of profession and those with lived experience were explored. Whilst interpretations and policy preferences in the group, as in profession, indeed in wide society, have diverged, there has been consistent respect for the underlying data from the ethical complexity of the decisions involved. Wonder what changed their mind. Oh, who knows. Sorry if there's noise in the background, my washing machine's going. This report identifies the need to make several significant improvements in the way in which gender identity services for children and young people are provided. As with many other treatment areas, it also highlights the ongoing challenge of managing uncertainty for the medical profession when caring for people with gender incongruence in a way that is proportionate, transparent, and patient-centered. Despite the BMA's report largely vindicating the findings of the Cass review, the trade union body also claimed some of the government's actions in the aftermath of the review, such as banning puberty blockers on the NHS, went beyond Cass's recommendations. The union said it was continuing to oppose a ban on puberty blockers for several reasons, not least because it is a threat to the autonomy of a doctor. I mean, couldn't you say this about any, regulations? Couldn't you say this about any ban on any medication? Oh, well, you're threatening the autonomy of a doctor. Well, yeah, they need to be held to certain standards. We spend decades training on how to use the drugs, and to have political decision affecting the way we prescribe is wrong. I don't think this is true at all. A key finding of the Cass review, which took 4 years and was based on data from 113,000 children, was that there was no evidence to support prescribing hormones to under 18s. Her report also found young people often present with complex need, including trauma, self-harm, depression. These factors were sometimes not adequately explored before medical treatment pathways were considered. As a result of the Cass review, the Gender Identity Development Service based in the Tavistock Clinic in London, which was the only such service in England and Wales, permanently closed. The service treated about 9,000 children and young people, with an average referral of 14 between 2009 and 2020. The rest of the Tavistock and Portman NHS Trust merged with North London NHS Trust last month. Yeah, there we go. Wow. Do you know what I wonder? I'm sure there was something that Helen Weberly said about Kira Bell, that like a lot of Kira Bell's problems came because she started treatment like during puberty and not before it. I wonder how often she gets people that are already starting puberty and now want to stop it, whether she stops their puberty or just lets it go and it's like, oh, it's too late now. I wonder. Anyway, there we go. Wow. I actually thought they'd already dropped their opposition to it, so I don't know, man. Do we do the Monty thing now or this Cam Higby thing? I'm not sure. It looks like he's doing a fucking DJ set. I guess he's got musical instruments and stuff. Does Cam Higby make music? Can't see any. We'll do this first and then the Monty thing, I think. Make sure you like the stream, don't forget. If you want to support me further, you can super chat on Streamlabs in the link in my description, or on YouTube. You can gift memberships on YouTube. You can join the channel. You can... other stuff. Give a super sticker. Check the links in my description. Yeah, we'll have a quick look at this. So, You Mingle, is that like Ome TV and stuff? Yeah, it's like chat roulette. It's like the current version of chat roulette. There's another version with an H in there. Omegle, Umingle, Omegle, Ome TV. Very strange. I don't know. I've been on chat roulette drunk a couple of times when I was a student, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, transgender says men should invade women's bathrooms, so we're essentializing already in the title, unless this person literally does say it, but let's see. I guess he's going on You Mingle looking for debates or something. How nice.
Why? Why do you prey on his downfall?
Because he's literally in the files.
Right. But many of the mentions of Trump in the files are just talking about his 2016 campaign, for example.
What about the ones that aren't?
Doesn't prove he did anything wrong. Can you prove that he did anything wrong?
Actually, yeah. I forgot what the exact document it was. Let me think. It's on tip of my tongue. There was a document that said he auctioned. I saw the actual document. I'm not getting this straight from social media.
No, I'm familiar with what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Oh no, but yeah, there's a document talking about how he auctioned girls off based on how tight they were.
And do you know where that allegation came from?
Actually, no.
It was an anonymous tip submitted to the NYPD on their tip line. There was no callback given. Callback number given for the tip. There was no name attached to it. There was no victims named. There was no...
Wait, this is all about fucking Trump. What about women's bathrooms? I'm here for the bathroom discourse.
No material evidence cited. There was no evidence submitted. It was, for all intents and purposes, a prank call. I mean, there literally no evidence behind this whatsoever. None. It's just...
Okay.
And by the way, both the NYPD and the DOJ noted as much. Like, there's literally nothing we can do with this. There's no evidence.
Okay, yeah, I'll believe you on that. Okay, because I haven't done my share of research on that specific topic.
Yeah, why isn't he doing debates about this with like people who are prepared? He's got over 250,000 subscribers. Would it be that hard for him to get hold of people?
I do know that there are photos, and I'm not just talking about the one where he's shown with Epstein, but I also know like the emails and.
Go on fucking Brad Palumbo or like fucking Wick TV or something. I don't fucking know.
Various like photos.
Of what?
Of him with Epstein.
Sure, yeah. Epstein was a very well-known financier in New York City.
Yeah.
He attended a lot of parties. A lot of people knew him. That's unsurprising, right? I'm a conservative. I go to a lot of conventions. I have a lot of friends that you probably know, people that you've probably seen online, right? Just because I maybe took a photo with those people at one point, and then they become crazy later on, or I find out something really terrible about them, that doesn't mean that I'm like BFFs with them or that I'm in on whatever they're doing, right? So I don't think that like two people depicted in a photo together at a party is evidence that...
But there's like just multiple photos, and the photos are still like shockingly like weird.
Did the photos prove that Trump is a pedophile?
Some do.
No, they don't. There's not any photos of Trump doing anything illegal, right? Just because he's pictured with somebody who did something illegal does not mean that he also did that, right?
True. Yeah.
Right. There's right now. I could take a screenshot of you and me online talking together, and if you turn out to be a pedophile, I'm not saying you are, if you turn out to be a pedophile later on, there's this photo of Cam and this other person who turns out to be a pedophile. It doesn't mean that I'm involved in whatever you're doing. You're on the LGBTQ tab.
At the same time, isn't it kind of fair to ask why the fuck he's friends with this person then, and the nature of their relationship?
Right now, I'm not gay or trans or anything like that. It would be the equivalent of somebody taking a screenshot of us right now and saying, well, Cam must be trans because look, he's talking to an LGBTQ person.
Yeah, no, I get that. But it also has to do with like the war in Iran, the various lies and changes in belief for his own benefit. You know what I mean?
Okay, what's your beef with the war in Iran?
Well, the war in Iran makes, in honest belief, no sense. There was no point in it, and we're backing Israel for what reason? What have they done for the U.S.?
Yeah, I totally disagree. I think this war has... I could tell you what Israel has done for the United States, but I don't think this war is about backing Israel, and I definitely don't think it's pointless. So the fact of the matter is that Iran, through their proxies, have repeatedly murdered American citizens. In 2024, they killed 3 soldiers at Tower 22 in Jordan and injured 40. On October 7th, they killed 40 Americans. And then
Americans have also...
Iran killed Americans on October 7th.
Again,
over and right, but not. This isn't a foreign power doing it, right? So when Americans kill Americans, we send them to jail, right? When a foreign power does it, we go to war with them. On top of that, Iran sent an intelligence asset, or a group rather of intelligence assets, to the United States to kill the president. We have those people convicted. They have admitted that they were sent by the Iranian government to kill the president and other politicians.
True, but
that cannot be allowed to stand. It's untenable.
I forgot the exact country, but didn't we also kill the leader of Iran?
No, we didn't kill the leader of Iran.
That was Israel, wasn't it?
Untenable. We don't allow foreign countries to come to the United States and kill our leaders and kill our people. It's untenable. So when that happens, you go to war, and we did, and we killed the supreme leader of Iran. We destroyed their navy. We destroyed their air force. We killed the leader of every respective agency. No, we didn't kill the Shah. No.
All right.
The Shah actually lives in the United States.
True, but now who's the leader of Iran? Who owns Iran, basically?
Well, right now, nobody, because he's dead.
Exactly. So what are you talking about? That he's living in the United States?
The Shah, former leader of Iran, not the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah is dead. We turned him into pink mist. Painted him on the walls of his palace.
So it's all very weird. I don't know. Are you getting off on this a bit much?
We turned him
I know, I've been fucking clickbaited. When do we talk about fucking toilets?
into pink mist. Painted him on the walls of his palace.
I'm very glad to listen to this person justifying this illegal as fuck war, but like, what about the title? What about the title, bro?
That no longer.
Pardon me, I'm not like super like educated on like the terms of it, so. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. I'm just saying, I just got confused for a second. So
you're good.
My bad. All right.
That's what I mean, by the way. Like, he's on You Mingle. Like, presumably not expecting that anyone here has like done any research or knows a huge amount about like the war and stuff. It's always very suspicious to me when these people, they talk to a lot of people and they do a lot of debates, but it's almost always with completely unprepared, like random people who he just comes across to, you know what I mean? He just comes across randomly, should I say.
Well, let me think. There's also, the various amounts of, transphobia and blatant uselessness of his, what's it called again? Profile. I'll just use that word. It's probably not the right word, but various use of his profile to spread harmful information. Not harmful information, but harmful, like,
how's he transphobic?
Ideology. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is one day when he was talking about a race, he was talking about, he's speaking very vaguely, but he spoke enough about it to help, like, hints towards at like what race it was or whatever. And they were like, the trans person won by or broke the world record by like 8 hours or whatever. But it was
I'll be honest, I have no idea what you're talking about. Has he issued any policy about transgender people that makes you think he's transphobic? Or
actually kind of
like what?
Well, you can fight. I'll debate you on this one, but the bathroom policy. Well, I do agree that it has a good effect to some degree. the negatives outweigh the good in the mere idea.
Okay, and what bathroom policy are you talking about?
Where people are forced to go into the bathrooms that they're for their assigned gender, like their biological sex.
And what's the problem with that?
What's the problem with that? Well, trans people exist, obviously.
Sure, people who think that they are.
You're going to get trans men who pass too well as men to use women's facilities. That might make the women uncomfortable. There we go.
Or something that they're not exist, but those people should be using the bathroom that corresponds to their sex, right?
So he thinks that someone like Buck Angel should use the women's, even if it makes other women uncomfortable, I presume.
Women shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable in their bathroom.
Just immediately fucking says it. Like, add fucking 2 and 2 together, bro. It's fucking not difficult.
What's the problem with that? Well, trans people exist, obviously.
Sure, people who think that they are something that they're not exist, but those people should be using the bathroom that corresponds to their sex, right? Women shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable.
Wait, what's the point in international law if you don't participate in it?
Comfortable in their bathroom because a man walks in.
True, but I feel like there should be like instead of outright banning or forcing people to go into a bathroom that they don't feel comfortable in, and some people inside the bathroom don't feel comfortable with them in it. I feel like there should just be like, I don't know, more bathrooms. They're just like for everybody.
We have family bathrooms. I can't remember the last time I was in a building that didn't have a family bathroom.
True, but
right, or you.
Amazing argument. Well, I can't remember when I've last been in a building that doesn't have a family bathroom. Okay, wow. What if a family needs it? What if someone who that bathroom is for needs it?
You can just hold
those
it.
are oftentimes,
but you have to go into the bathroom that corresponds to your sex. I don't see any problem with that. I mean, that's how it's been.
Well, some of the females there might make some of the other women uncomfortable.
Throughout the entirety of the United States history.
But it's still, but trans people's.
That's a microscopic issue, ultimately. If you want to make an argument that it's like transphobic or rooted in transphobia, it'd be like, well, it seems like something not worth dealing with, sort of specifically from the president's office, you know? So he must have some kind of vested interest in this subject.
Still exists.
Right, but they are physically not women, you know. Men.
Okay, well, American exceptionalism. Well, I mean, then the criticism still stands, you know. The idea would be that just because you're America, you should still like follow international law. I don't know why it would be silly in that case.
And who think their women are physically not women, and therefore
what about the ones that have? What about the ones that get surgery, like bottom surgery, top surgery, hormones?
Yeah, that doesn't make you a woman. A woman is an adult human female. A female is a person who falls into the sexual category capable of producing ova. Just because you get your balls cut off does not mean you fall into the sexual category.
But sure, I can buy this, but at the same time, it's like when you're determining who goes in which bathroom, you're not typically looking at their physical sex. You're looking at their vibe. You're looking at what you're seeing. I feel like he's taking a deliberately like dumb like stance on this so as not to actually have to fucking think about this for any length of time, which is a shame because he talks about trans issues decently often when he's doing his like Charlie Kirk fucking rip-off shit. So I don't know, man.
Category capable of producing ova, you're still a man.
Sure, but if you're, I feel like if you're willing to go to the extent of having surgeries, doing the hormones, I just feel like that you shouldn't be like perceived as like a pervert, just like because
it's not saying you're a pervert. It's just saying you don't have the right to go into a bathroom in which you don't belong and make other people feel uncomfortable. How about this? If I went through all of the surgery, let's say I made my ears pointy. Let's say I brought my forehead down a little bit. I got hair transplanted all over my body. I got whiskers implanted in my face. I got my nose reduced to the point where it's just
I
basically.
think I can see where this is going. It's going to be so fucking stupid.
This, like just this part here, and I put a little button on it. Should now the state be required to like give me a cat litter? So I got a tail, a fleshy tail put on my body.
At least make it like, well, if lots of people started doing this, if one person does it, no, they're not going to give you a fucking cat litter, you retard. Go in the men's.
Because they aren't identifying as.
No, I'm identifying as a cat in this situation. It
is a terrible answer as well. It doesn't matter what you identify as ultimately. And again, when you're determining which bathroom someone goes in, you're not seeing their identity. You're not going to be able to look at a trans man and a very, very butch lesbian and immediately know, okay, well, one of you identifies and one of you doesn't. So you go that way and you go that way. That's not really how it works. You see what you see, you know? Identity is just as pointless as sex in that conversation.
So I got a tail, a fleshy tail put on my body.
Because they aren't identifying as.
No, I'm identifying as a cat in this situation. In this situation,
Okay,
I identify as a kitty.
In that situation, you're identifying as something that's not a Homo sapien.
So what?
It's not human.
So what?
Now we're opening the door for transracial arguments. See, there's just so many fucking reasons why we need to stop, like, reducing trans down to just identifying as something. There's so many different reasons. It's such an annoying talking point. I don't know why we fell on identity. I don't know why we fell on I identify as the metric by which someone is trans or not trans. You literally, like, conceded that yes, it's just attack helicopter shit. Yes, it's just, like, meaningless bullshit. Which is a bit unsatisfying for those of us that kind of transition anyway and see it as a bit more than just that, you know?
What?
It's different from biological sex.
In the case of a transgender man to woman, or male to female, whatever you want to call it, you are identifying as something that is physically impossible for you to identify as. In the same way that it's physically impossible for me.
Impossible to be, not identify. Oh my god, I hate this guy. He's actually so fucking dumb, man. I can see why. I can see now why he only talks to like fucking unprepared college kids and randos that he comes across on fucking U-Mingle. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Identifying as something that is physically impossible for you to identify as.
This fucking retard needs security as well. Do you know what the funny part is? Like, people like assault him and stuff like that. Like, why? What is this guy doing? This guy is like a net harm to his fucking movement because he's terrible at this. Why would you attack people like this?
In the same way that it's physically impossible for me to be a cat, you are identifying as something that you cannot be and you will never be.
And how?
There we go, he finally did it.
How is it impossible or physically impossible?
Yeah. I'll tell you.
For that to happen.
Yeah. So a woman is an adult human female. A female is a person who falls into the sexual category capable of producing ova. These are the word for word, bar for bar definitions from Oxford, the most credible dictionary in the English language.
Going to the dictionary. The dictionary says that. I hate this person so much. It's hard to adequately describe how annoying people like this are.
A man, somebody who is born sexually a male, can never fall into the sexual category capable of producing ova. His body will never be ordered towards the production of ova. It's impossible.
Okay. Actually, if we're talking about sex, then like biological sex, I'll agree with you on that. That is true.
Which our bathrooms are sorted based on sex, not gender.
But
I mean, they're the same thing, but bathrooms are sorted based on sex, not gender.
Bathrooms are sorted based on sex. I guess technically that's true. But they're not really actually sorted. There's just two labels, and the labels are for people of each sex. And most sensible people will understand that occasionally it makes more sense for a person of the other sex to go in the other sex bathroom.
Gender.
But
I mean, they're the same thing, but they're sorted based.
Not true. Not true.
On
not
sex.
the same thing.
It is the same thing. What would you say? Would you say woman is a gendered term?
Woman is...
No, gender term would be feminine. So what does he think things like masculine and feminine are, if not terms relating to gender? Things associated with each sex, but not of that sex. So then we need a new word because gender and sex are the same thing. So what are we going to call that instead? Or we could just use gender for that and say that sex is what you're born as.
There's no such thing as the man or woman gender. Those are sexes.
Okay, so man and woman are sexes. So trans woman is just not a thing.
No, it is a thing. You're living as the other sex, even though you're not the other sex.
Trans women aren't sexes.
So, wait, but you just said that they are sex. You just said that woman and man are sexual terms, not gendered terms. And then,
yeah, what does it say trans women are in the dictionary then? Is the dictionary always an authority, or just when he wants it to be?
And you said that it's actually a...
What does the dictionary say that fucking gender is? You know what? I think the Oxford English Dictionary agrees with me, but okay. Jesus Christ, this is a fucking mess. Why do people who try and present themselves as professional interviewers, debaters, only ever discuss these topics with people who are not all too well informed? Well, someone like this isn't a professional interviewer or debater. He wants to win. He wants to do the Ben Shapiro, destroying college students and shit like that. So he only goes up against people that are unprepared. I don't know if he ever talks to people in like more formal settings. It's what happens when you're actually really shit at this, but you think that Ben Shapiro is cool, so you ape him by also talking to people that don't know what they're talking about. So there's another person on the internet. More Charlie Kirk shit. Yeah, almost none of these people, I think, will be like prepared for any kind of conversation. Especially if it says you mingle at the bottom. Like, it's just random people he came across. I don't know, I don't really get it. I think it's like an ego thing more than anything else.
We're not talking about biological. Okay, alright, let me... I'm feeling like I'm miswording things, okay? So, like, I'm gonna go on, like, a bit of a rant here. Sorry if I talk too long, but, like, I just wanna, like, make it clear of what I'm, like, trying to, like, say, you know what I mean? Just, like, clear up confusion.
Sure.
Alright, so, sex is what you were assigned at birth. It's what you biologically are. So there's a man, a woman, and those are the two biological sexes. Now there are intersex people who are technically, I want to say both, but not both.
They're not both. Every intersex person is born ordered towards the production of one or the other gamete. You might be born with ovaries and a micropenis.
I think that might be a bit too general to say. The thing about intersex is that it's a small percentage of the population. So you can't really use it to say, oh, sex is like not at all binary. To me, like, sex is like binary with like an asterisk. And then there are people that do kind of confound it. But kind of clearly as well, you have two sexes because of reproduction. So that whole thing still needs to exist and still needs to make sense. And things like intersex like aren't really supposed to happen. It's just an awful lot of shit happens that aren't supposed to when it comes to like biology. You know, humans are incredibly complex organisms.
Or an enlarged clitoris, but you're still a woman because your body is ordered towards the production of ova.
I know. I said like kind of.
They're not kind of both. It's a mutation, but they're still men or women in all cases.
All right, sure, but all right. So let's just take what you're saying. The only two sexes are male or female, right? Those are the only two sexes.
Correct.
But genders, however, while genders may not have a complete definition, gender is just what we refer to it as. Gender, there's really no specific genders, for being honest. But a transgender person...
And I think I kind of agree with this in a way.
For being honest. But
most people who know about these topics are on his side. I don't think that's true at all.
But a transgender person that's a gender. Or are you streaming right now? Are you?
I've forgotten more than this fucking loser knows about this whole thing, and I have like some broad agreements, but not many. I think in general he's actually very ignorant on this issue.
Streaming right now.
I am streaming, but
oh my god,
this is the problem though.
Wait, he doesn't even tell people that he's like live. Like, I don't know if on You Mingle, are you supposed to like? Is there anything about like you're supposed to tell people if you're like streaming them? Should they not know? I don't know about this. Is there like a terms of use or anything? Or rules? Whoa. Gender-based solicitation. What is gender-based solicitation? It doesn't say anything about streaming or like telling people when you're streaming. It's not great practice. You probably should at the start of any conversation be like, "Oh, I'm streaming, by the way." Yeah, I don't know. I can't see anything.
You're saying so like, are man and woman gendered terms or are they sex terms?
They are gender terms, but they're sex terms.
They're kind of both, really.
They're gendered sex terms.
You're not gonna. Okay, so right, I would agree with you because of the same thing, right? They're not going to be different.
The same thing,
it is physically impossible for a man to be ordered towards the production of ova. A woman is defined as an adult human female, which means gender and sex are the exact same thing. There's no difference, right? So and it doesn't even matter. Even if I granted you that gender and sex are different.
Like gender roles, expectations, stereotypes and stuff. You don't think there's worth in having a separate word for that? I guess not.
The fact of the matter is that we separate.
What about the fact that you're going to see some people that you think are one sex but are actually the other? You're not sexing them because you're incorrect in that way.
Separate our bathrooms not based on gender but based on sex, right? We've never separated our bathrooms based on some abstract thing of however you feel, right? They are separated.
That's the other thing. Any bathroom, the rules depend on who owns it. So if a place is trans inclusive, then sure, they kind of are doing it based on gender and not sex. It actually depends on the establishment, I would have thought. I mean, maybe it's different in the US. Maybe there are actual laws around this kind of thing. In the UK, there aren't laws about using one bathroom or the other.
Based on what you are.
All right, wait, can I Google it then? Just give me like 5 seconds. I'll Google it real quick.
Okay.
Are bathrooms
The fact that we're Googling this now, Jesus.
Separated based on...
By the way, you started this whole debate by saying that you had a problem with Trump because the bathrooms are separated by sex. So you already conceded that they're separated by sex.
No, hold up. Just give me a second.
Weren't they saying that they don't think it should be like that?
This whole debate by saying that you had a problem with Trump because the bathrooms are separate.
All right, I'll give you that. They are separated based on sex.
So it doesn't even matter.
I'll give you that. But if we're going by like just the societal standard, they're more than likely people will say they are separated based on gender.
But they're not. It doesn't matter what some idiot says. They're not separated based on sex. They're separated based on gender. Assuming these two things are different, which they're not.
Okay, if we're going based on law, then sure, they're separated by sex, but most people would say they're separated by gender.
And do you have any data to prove that, to back up that claim?
What?
Do you have any data, any polls or anything that would prove what you're saying right now, or is it just a hunch? You're just saying you think?
Well, most people use the terms gender and sex interchangeably,
totally
which
disagree.
they aren't.
Or I actually agree they're used interchangeably, but then you actually just made a point in my favor. So if most people use gender and sex interchangeably, then I highly doubt most people would say that bathrooms are separated based on gender, not sex. Because most people, if what you're saying is true, would just say they're the same thing. You just said both that most people would say bathrooms are separated based on gender,
I actually care so little about this fucking point.
Sex, and then you also
they're going to get onto something vaguely interesting, actually.
Said in the same breath that most people think gender and sex are the same thing.
Okay, but we're also, if you're going based off the...
It's actually kind of based. This person is gonna, like, challenge him based on the dictionary.
For dictionary, then gender and sex aren't the same thing.
They are the same thing. The Oxford definition of woman is adult human female. The definition of female is a person who falls in the sexual category capable of producing ova. You'll find when you search, if you just Google the name, the words like woman definition, it'll pop up with Oxford.
All right, hold up.
You'll find that I was reading you the exact definitions.
All right, I'm looking it up right now. Hold up. Gender.
I'm not asking for the definition of gender. I'm asking for the definition of woman.
Of a woman.
Right? So.
Sorry, I could hear shouting. Hang on. Okay, I have no idea. I guess just people having a lot loud arguments, which happens.
Well,
so look at this. This is the definition of woman. Let me see if I can flip my camera around so you can actually read it. Here we go.
All right.
This is the definition of woman per Oxford. That's Oxford right there. An adult female human being. Now let's look at the definition of female. Female definition.
It's very dignified, isn't it? Very dignified.
Also,
it says of or denoting the sex that can bear offspring or produce eggs, distinguished biologically by the production of gametes, ova, that can be fertilized by male gametes. So we agree that's talking about sex, right? Female?
Yes.
So if a
gender is derived from sex, obviously.
Woman is an adult human female, then they're the same thing, right? If you're saying woman is a gender term and female is a sex term, but literally in order to be a woman, you would have to be sexually a female based on the Oxford definition of woman, then they're the same thing.
Yep, so when you transition, it's that you want people to think you're a woman even though you're not a woman. Again, it could have been a lot easier if we didn't insist on this, like, trans women are women, like, point blank. If we're saying that trans women should be treated as women as much of the time as possible, then I agree with that. But, like, trans women are women has just been, like, internalized without actually being justified, really. So, I don't know, man.
Okay, no, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get that. But we're all right. Hold up, let me think.
Wait, Trump told Caitlyn Jenner that she can use the women's toilets. Oh wow.
Hold up. All right, but that's why transgender women and transgender men have a separate term.
Because they're not women, right? And so they don't belong in the women's restroom. You're adding a qualifier. You're saying trans woman, meaning not really a woman. and so they shouldn't be in the women's bathroom if they're not really a woman.
All right.
It might as well, trans might as well mean somebody who calls themselves a woman. Trans.
Nope, disagree. Trans is not just calling yourself a thing. It's annoying when SJWs push this kind of thing. It's annoying when rightoids do it too.
Woman, somebody who calls themselves a woman.
What is a woman? We're looking at the Wikipedia.
Well, I don't think Wikipedia matters. Like, I don't care what Wikipedia says a woman is. The Oxford definition, I read it to you already. It's
Merriam-Webster then. Merriam-Webster then.
We've got like 3 minutes for this to actually happen. Should men invade women's bathrooms? Is that what this person said? They've been perfectly polite. I really hate this tendency to like make the bitchiest possible title about your debate opponent. Especially when your debate opponent like isn't being a dick or anything. I don't know.
We're deferring to Merriam-Webster after we already have established that the Oxford definition is adult human female.
Let's be real, the Merriam-Webster one is the most historical.
No, it's not. Oxford is the oldest and most credible dictionary in the English language.
Alright, whatever you say. A woman belonging to a particular category, as by birth, residence, membership, or
according to
occupation.
Merriam-Webster, a woman is primarily defined as an adult female person. That's the first definition. 1A, adult female person.
Female. Alright. Alright. There's also B, having a gender identity that is the opposite of male.
Right. That doesn't make you a woman. By every other definition, that doesn't make you a woman.
Oh wait, there's also characteristics of girls.
Having a gender identity that is the opposite of male. That's a really dumb definition.
Women, or the female sex, exhibiting femaleness. Designed or typically used by women. Alright. All that. Like, still.
Yeah, none of these things are describing a man who pretends to be a woman. It doesn't matter because we're talking about bathrooms. Again, we've already conceded that our bathrooms are separated based on sex, not based on gender. If we assume those two things are different. So still, trans women would not be able to use the women's bathroom. Like, it doesn't even matter if the terms mean something different, which they don't. But if they did, it still doesn't matter related to bathrooms. Is there anything else Trump has done that's transphobic in your view?
Well, there are some more things, but I can't like name them off the top of my head, you know.
How do you know there are more things if you can't name them?
Because I've researched it, but I can't name them off the top of my head. I know that it's like when you hear someone, but you don't know what they said.
Hi, stone gender person sitting on You Mingle. Perfectly recollect all of your personal beefs with Donald Trump in relation to transphobia. This is the stupidest conversation I've ever fucking seen in my life.
You know they said something, but you don't know what they said.
So you just kind of read something, didn't pay attention to it, and then kind of took whatever your reading's word for it, that it was transphobic?
No, I read it, but then...
This guy shouldn't be allowed to patronize people.
Got it. But still know it exists.
Okay. Could you round up a couple of those things for me?
No, because I already told you I forgot.
You have no means of figuring out what those things were.
Debate me, bro. Debate me on Trump, bro.
Seems like earlier you were on ChatGPT, so I mean,
bro, no, I was on Google.
Is this the new debate power move? Accuse the other person of using ChatGPT.
I can show you my search history. Hold up.
Okay, well, you have a computer in front of you, so you could find some more of those things then. Perfect.
Yeah, wait. All right, hold up. I can pull up my search history right now.
But I don't care. That is something I do not want to see.
Wait, so Cam... Jesus fucking Christ. So Cam skipped that person?
Why? Why do you prey on his downfall?
What a pussy-o.
Yeah, wait. All right, hold up. I can pull up my search history right now.
But I don't care. That is something I do not want to see.
Yeah, it must have been Cam that skipped him. Guessing the host of this show is a Trump stan. Yes, very much. I actually fucking despise this person. This guy was one of the ones running around trying to get people fired for like criticizing Charlie Kirk after he died. Well, it's presumably also whining about cancel culture because Antifa doesn't like him very much. When's he live? Is this the channel he goes live on? He doesn't have any other channels. Sigh petition. You need sign? Republicans believe America's 250th anniversary should be a proud celebration of freedom, patriotism, and the greatest nation in the world, not another apology pushed by the left. The NRCC is calling on patriots across the country to stand up and proudly support celebrations for America's 250th birthday before the radical left destroys them. Wow, these people seem fascinating. I can't wait to never think about that again. Yeah, I don't know when he... Oh no, it says there's a live tab here. Dude, if I see him live, I could go on fucking You Mingle and try and like catch him. maybe I'll do that one day. He's been doing this a lot, like sitting there playing Minecraft and like fucking arguing with randos on You Mingle. Okay, listen, I'll keep an eye out. I don't know if his times like really line up with mine, but it would be very funny. It would be very funny to catch this guy. But all of these are like this You Mingle thing. So this is what I mean. He doesn't talk to people that are like prepared. He doesn't have actual like formal debates with people. When he's not sat at like college campuses. He's on youmingle.org.com, whatever it is. Very lame. Very, very lame. I don't know why these people never do proper debates. Let me go back. And this is IRL stuff. So the You Mingle stuff is new, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, there we go, Cam Higby. We're gonna make fun of debaters on the other side, because these people are just as fucking bad, don't get me wrong. Like, stuff like The Line, which this is on, apparently. When is this from? This is from 2 years ago? This is from 2 fucking years ago? I've already seen this. Are you fucking for real? I'm so angry. This was posted 3 days ago on Dr. Ben's channel. He and fucking Katie Montgomery did a thing together on The Line. I thought Katie Montgomery was back. I thought she was like debating again, which I thought was going to be hilarious because Katie Montgomery can't fucking debate to save her life. But no, it's from 2 years ago. It doesn't even fucking say here. It doesn't even say it's from 2 years ago. What a fucking loser. I mean, we could watch it anyway, I guess. I'm pretty sure I've already seen this. People calling the caller a pick-me. Stuff about trans medicalism. It's people like her that cause you to hate yourself. No, if you hate yourself, it's your own issue, and you should deal with it. That's really annoying. They're not going to pick you. Wow. I don't know. We'll watch a little bit, but I'm probably going to get deja vu off of this because I've already seen it. So Katie Montgomery is not back. Okay, I'm glad I didn't do anything in the title about Katie Montgomery being back and debating again, because it's not fucking true. I got led on anyway. Oh, sorry. Like and subscribe. Like the stream. Consider super chatting. I know, man. That's really like throwing me off now. What the fuck?
Always saying they are trans and also seems to be describing trans women as biological men. So, Summer, go for it. What's your argument here?
Hi, Dr. Ben.
Hi.
Hello.
So I'm hoping that we could have a civil discussion about this. I'm very well educated in this part of social issues, and so I'm really hoping that we can talk, because I've gone.
I think what this person is trying to say is that she will dispatch these people's arguments with alacrity.
Through my transition.
It's a very quick way to say all this kind of intro bollocks. Just straight in there. I will dispatch your arguments with alacrity. Then just start, That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Had all the surgeries, all that kind of stuff. And I've spent a lot of time researching these topics, and I'm sick of seeing biological men walk into women's spaces like locker rooms, like in Alaska, where the man walked in and he's shaving his beard. And
Hang on a second.
I agree, that was unhelpful. If you look that much like a man, go in the men's, very easy.
Well, just so we're clear, do you consider yourself to be a biological man?
No.
So what's... Technically, that person is still a biological man. They've just changed their biology an awful lot.
The difference? When did you stop being one?
I stopped being one when I got my surgeries.
So the day of the surgery, you were a biological man in the morning, and in the afternoon you were a biological woman, or?
Well, after all the hormones that I've taken, and the surgeries and the FFS and all those surgeries, yes.
So I'm just wondering if you feel like it was a binary flip from one to the other.
I disagree with the caller, by the way. I don't think you become a biological woman when you have bottom surgery. You've certainly nullified your sex at that point.
Or if you think it was a sliding scale.
No, when I was 4 years old, I realized, and, I passed. And when I first started transitioning, I passed. I'm 5'6", 130 pounds. And
sure, but what I mean is, obviously I don't know what age you transitioned, but obviously at some point you consider trans women. For example, me, at some point before I came out, you would have said that I was a biological man. And it seems like you'd be saying now in my life that I am not. So I'm just wondering if, in your opinion, that there's a certain moment.
Sounds like Olivia. Maybe. What was Olivia had beef with Katie Montgomery? I can't. No, it wasn't that. Olivia had beef with The Line and likes Katie Montgomery. I think Olivia thought we should talk, but I don't know how the fuck you get hold of someone like Katie Montgomery. I'm sure I left at least a couple of comments being like, "Hey, do you do call-ins? It'd be good to talk to you about this because I think you're wrong." Never heard back.
In time where that flips from being one thing to another, or whether there's some kind of gray area sliding scale?
Yeah, I would say that just over time, as I became more aware of protecting women and what trans people are doing to the LGBTQ community and what they're doing to women's spaces and how they're making them feel very uncomfortable when you've got women that own Giggle. And that there's a man...
I feel like you've dodged my question. I'm just, obviously, in your transition, when you were transitioning, there was a point at which because you consider, trans women who haven't yet.
Yeah, everyone here is barking up the wrong tree. I don't know if I can blame Monty as much, because this person laid out a way in which you're a biological woman or a man, and then you become a biological woman. The whole point is supposed to be you can't really change your sex, but you can change how others see you. So by that metric, this person was, assuming they do pass and they're not completely full of shit, probably known as a woman to lots of people already. That's really the point of transitioning. You can't actually be the other thing, but you can be the other thing in people's minds,
Done surgery or whatever, you consider them biological men. There must have been a point at which you either considered yourself a biological man or a biological boy.
I mean, we have already answered this, surely. It's surgery. I got my dick turned inside out. Now I'm a biological woman. I don't know why we need to clarify this so much.
boy, whatever that means. And there is a point now in time where you don't consider yourself that. I am interested what you do consider yourself now, and I'm just wondering, when does that change? Like, does that change on the day of your surgery?
Okay. Yeah.
That 5 years.
I understand. Yeah. So it changed after my surgeries.
Yeah, we already said that. Why do we? Oh, this person sucks.
After having all of my surgeries and going off and going through, and then understanding all of the issues and what's going on in the world, where so does that answer your question? So we can move on.
Well, I do think this is kind of like the core point, and also probably where I'll start answering the question I think you're going to ask.
Sure.
So if you say it's after your surgeries, I mean, I don't know how many surgeries you've had, but does that mean, I don't know, also don't know what order you had them in, but say, for example, it'd be possible for there to be someone who is transitioning into a woman and they plan to have genital reassignment surgery and then facial feminization surgery. They're still a biological man after the first one, or what? Which point?
So, I mean, this isn't really what I was calling in to talk about, because
the reason why I'm bringing this up.
What you're trying to do. Yeah.
The reason I'm bringing this up is obviously I want to know which point in your transition you started using women's spaces, and what it is that you think other people need to do, and I need to understand first where you.
There's a lot of panic online about digital ID, but no one is actually reading the law around it. I mean, that always gets turned into like slippery slope, like 1984 shit. My favorite thing about digital ID was that, what's that fucking dipshit's name? Black belt barrister. For some reason, people respect this guy. I don't know why. He fucking sucks. There's this video where he's like, well, you know, they do it in China, and I think it works in China, but it just wouldn't work in the UK. And like, not even really like, you know, validating that opinion like at all. I don't know, everything I've seen about the digital ID stuff, I don't think it's even mandatory anymore. But for the most part, like, it's just like something that you have on your phone. I don't think it's going to be used to like, people talking about like, they'll use it to like debank you and stuff like that. I just don't see how that's the case based on it being a file that exists on your phone. So I don't know. I think a lot of it's overblown personally.
Think these lines are?
Sure. Yeah. So I think.
I will say though, I think the government probably should have seen it coming, how badly received that was going to be. I think probably optically it was a terrible idea, you know?
There needs to come a point in a trans person's life where they need to decide when they start passing. I didn't start using women's spaces until I passed, until I knew that I passed. I had to go.
So this is actually fair enough. I actually agree with this. I think that's when you should use women's spaces as a trans woman, is when you pass. The problem is, knowing whether you pass or not is difficult. Being objective about yourself is difficult. Which is also why things like self-identity are not great metrics for what and who you are. It's a bit like when someone tells you that they're a nice person and immediately like punches an old lady in the face or some shit. It's like, well, you can self-identify as that, but I don't really agree. The government can track you, kind of like how they do now already. Yeah, true. Like, we're acting like a lot of new stuff is going to start happening that's been happening the entire time, you know what I mean?
So my question...
Sorry.
Yeah, so my question is then, like, is it when you pass or is it when you have the surgery? Because those are two completely different points in time. And I think that's where Katie is going with this.
Both.
Like,
both. When you pass and have the surgeries.
So when you have, okay, so let me ask you a question, because I feel like it's very easy to address this from like the rhetorical statement of people assuming that trans women have like these huge beards and like these lumberjack figures, and then they transition and suddenly it's okay for them to be in spaces. Let's flip this, because I've not had bottom surgery, I've had top surgery, and I would say I passed most of the time. Which bathroom should
passes as a 13-year-old boy, maybe
I use? Which spaces should I use?
And also, it doesn't really matter as much, because if you're a trans man, like, even if you look feminine, even if you look like a child at best. Men aren't going to be uncomfortable really around you because that's what they're going to see, you know? It's a bit different when we're talking about women's spaces as men's spaces.
Right. So, okay, so let's look at
Literally an ID on a screen. Most of the people bitching about it have their full names, professions, addresses on their Facebook. Yeah. Very true. Very true.
that.
No, answer my question.
I think
What spaces should I use?
Yeah, you should use the bathroom for men, right?
Okay, but
so surgery's not
by your
part of it.
definition. So surgery's not part of it because I haven't had bottom
Idiot doom with their head
surgery. So
Right,
I'm
but
a biological
phalloplasty
man.
Right, but phalloplasty is completely
So then
different
why is
than-
let her explain. Jesus.
definition different? Well, why is that different? Why is one side?
The answer is it's different talking about men's spaces to female spaces.
Not a biological change, but this one is. Like, why is your
because
metric
biological
different for trans
women
people?
can pass much easier than biological men.
So you're saying that
It's a dumb answer as well.
the whole definition is just passing. So pass.
See, this is most internet debate, to be honest, especially when it's like call-in shows or the kind of retarded shit that Cam Higby does. It's all just stupid people calling in to stupid people to have stupid people conversations. When you listen to it, it's like, well, kind of both sides are completely fucking retarded on this. And the sad point is that at least one of the sides of this conversation, you're going to get a whole lot of people listening being like, oh yeah, I agree with everything.
Passing is your metric. That is what you were saying.
Why are you? But so do you? You do consider yourself a biological man who passes as a woman?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so it's not what you said earlier. So there's no point in time
No. So
in
what I'm saying
transition.
is, yeah. So what I'm saying is, I went through all the processes. I went through all the surgeries. I got my birth certificate changed. I can now go into a women's locker room and shower with other women, and other women do not know I was biologically male.
What order?
Except I could also go into.
I can't even decide who should fucking answer.
I could go into a women's bathroom and shower, and nobody would know I was biologically male because I wasn't by anybody's
But you're not biologically male, so how can they know you're something?
definition. So then why can't we use the women's bathroom and the women's shower?
Bro, you probably could. You probably could. They'll just think you're a butch lesbian. Or that you had cancer at some point or something. Or some other reason as to why you had your breast taken off.
Wait, I don't understand your question.
This is the kind of thing, you do need to talk about it as like a trans women in women's spaces thing, separate from trans men in men's spaces. These things have to be discussed differently, like separately.
You just said that.
Wait a minute. You said you didn't have bottom surgery, right, Dr. Ben?
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. But
yeah,
you
so if you use the women's like shower and someone sees your vagina, then they're not going to think you're a fucking man, are they?
said that I have to use the men's bathroom and the men's facilities.
Right? How could you pass?
Yeah, but you're saying I shouldn't use the women's one. You were saying that I shouldn't use the women's one and that I should use the men's one because I passed as a man.
No.
But I don't pass there, but I pass in the women's bathroom if I wasn't wearing any clothes. So like, why can't I be in the women's bathroom?
You could go into the women's bathroom, I guess.
So I'm very confused about what your argument is. It's so inconsistent.
If you want to cause issues, then yeah, you could do that. I'm saying I want women to feel comfortable in those female-only spaces.
The thing is though, if you're good faith debate hosts, then rather than point out all the points at which this person is contradicting themselves, which she is, for sure, you'd help them along and like get them to a place where you can start having an actual discussion. These people want it to be a conversation about getting different things wrong and things not making sense. They don't want to get this person on a level who might not be very good at expressing themselves. They don't want to get it to a level where it's like, okay, now we're speaking from a place of mutual understanding. Like, these people are trying to make it confusing, I think.
And a man going into a women's locker room.
Like, they're here because they want to humiliate people. It's the same with Cam Higby. He's there because he wants the epic Ben Shapiro owns. These people are doing the TRA version of that.
Room that has a penis.
And to be honest, if you call into this kind of shit, then you're part of the problem, honestly. People should just stop calling into like the fucking line and shit like that. And Dr. Ben should be honest about when these videos are from. Someone even said welcome back. What do you mean welcome back? Women's spaces exist for the safety of women. Well, yeah, exactly. We can go into like all these like pedantries about, you know, well, what about this niche thing or that niche thing? What the fuck is this? This woman needs to be found and ostracized completely from our community. What actual scumbag. People like this are like actual fucking cancer to any group they are a part of. I hope you understand this. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is dumber than the Cam Higby thing. I might actually move on. I can't be asked with this. Can't be asked with this. What's this erudite thing? I want to see what this erudite thing was. Make sure you like the stream. Don't forget you can super chat via Streamlabs, YouTube, etc. I have no idea who PF Jong is, by the way. Hang on. Yeah, so apparently you talked about a few things and also transgender stuff, which I'm interested in. From what I remember, sorry. Not so erudite has the very basic bitch liberal take on transgenderism. The line is funny with Matt. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know about anything about this person. I know a bit about erudite, and she's not super impressive, to be honest. Mostly just Skinwalk's Destiny. But let's see. We'll see what they're saying about like the transgender stuff. If I'm really that interested, I can go back and look at the stuff about white people and immigration and stuff like that. Anyway, like the stream, etc.
The fact that there's not data out there to rebut it, but
also, erudite is not actually trans. She just wears one of these chokers. Maybe she also is trying to hide an Adam's apple, but a female one, I don't know.
The next question I want to ask you.
But actually, listen. For the femiozers, etc. out there, this is the issue with wearing chokers as a trans woman. This is the issue. So, female person, can you see how it's flat at the front? Can you see how this choker lies flat across the neck here? If you're a male person, your choker isn't going to do that. It's going to bend forward because you have an Adam's apple. What happens when you're trans, which this person is not trans, this is a woman. If you're trans and wearing one of these, it amplifies the fact you have an Adam's apple because it bends forward in a way that wouldn't be natural if you were female. I hope you understand now. And if you're using these chokers to hide your Adam's apple, you should consider not doing so because it doesn't fucking work. Anyway.
Okay.
Is it cool if a white person goes, I only want to marry white people and have white babies? Is that totally morally valid?
It's like amoral. I don't think this is a moral thing, really.
It's not, but it's definitely not immoral.
No, I think it's all amoral. Like having preferences.
Okay, and same with like black people who want to marry black people and have black kids.
It's all amoral.
Okay, based. All right, cool.
Based?
There was, while we were talking, there was another. It was going to be interesting.
I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember the last time apart from erudite that I've seen an actual woman wear a choker.
Maybe not. Okay, on the topic of DEI and all that.
Okay.
I talked to a gay Muslim Marxist who's friends with Nick Fuentes.
Well, this is just an anecdote.
No. Hold on.
I'm just fucking with you.
This is an anecdote. I did talk to a gay Muslim Marxist who's friends with Nick Fuentes, and he brought up what is coined the trans question.
Can't talk to a conservative without talking about trans people. Can't happen.
Well, so here's
can't happen.
Here's the litmus test. Well, the litmus test is less important. Really, his point is, and this is the case.
Well, the litmus test is the point to me. This is the problem with politics. Utterly thought-terminating litmus tests. It's so empty. It's so empty and useless. It's like I literally feel like have you followed the
Depends on the litmus test.
I mean, I hate litmus tests in general. See also Aiko needing me to tell her whether I meant a thing that I said before she'll listen to me on anything else.
Yes.
Have you followed the red and blue button thought paradigm?
Oh yeah, I just had a discussion with Keegan, a guy who runs a podcast, a niche podcast. I'm going to post tomorrow. Here's a question for you. Not what did you answer? How do you feel about the people who answered differently than you? Totally, I have great empathy for them because I have empathy for everyone.
Okay, my answer is I only hate them if they have really bad reasons for why they picked it. Because I think there's reasonable reasons to pick either button,
of course,
and there's extremely unreasonable reasons.
Yeah, like to the point about only wanting to have white kids. If you're doing it because it's like I want to form white super soldiers in the Great Race War, then yeah, that's probably bad. But
exactly. Okay. Or if like I won't date black women because they're stinky, dirty, and have poor genes, then I'd be like, okay, you're a freak. So the point that I'm making here is these are litmus tests. Yeah. Right? If you just go, well, everyone who picks red or everyone who picks blue is this, right? Which, just to make clear, on Twitter, I, of course, completely leaned into just trashing on the opposite button pickers, but mostly because it's funny to me. I'm not going to lie. It's just funny, and it's Twitter. That's what it's for, is for taking a big old poo on the ground. Yeah. But in reality, the litmus test itself doesn't matter. I don't care what your answer is to a question by itself. I care about why you arrive there. And this is why I actually hate litmus tests so much. This is why this "what is a woman" is so dumb. This is why, what do you think about Israel-Palestine? I don't even want to begin to participate in it because it already tells me that the way this person is thinking is thought terminating.
Okay, we agree.
Check, no.
Can't you ask a question that's like a so-called litmus test in order to try and understand why someone thinks something about something? I don't think that litmus tests are bad necessarily based on what she's saying here. If you want to know why people think, and that's, what informs your belief or whatever, you can still ask questions that she would consider litmus tests. And what am I trying to say? You can still ask those and be interested in like the reasons why and focus around that,
Regret using the word litmus test.
I think if you focus too much on, oh, that's a litmus test, oh, that's a gotcha, that kind of thing, then it sounds more like it's because you don't want to talk about that particular thing, possibly because you might look dumb or get mocked for it, depending on what you're saying. Like if you say, what is a woman? Anyone who identifies as a woman, like you're going to look dumb to a lot of people. But if you sincerely believe that, then you might just want to avoid the question altogether. Oh, I hate these kind of litmus tests,
Because we agree in that sense. Here's the
stop.
Here's the issue. Hold on. Here's the issue. The issue is it is written into law as a matter of workplace, as the laws that govern workplace harassment. In that, if workplace harassment occurs, is that thunder?
Oh, she's like fucking nuts. Just shut up for a sec.
Workplace harassment. In that, if workplace harassment occurs, is that thunder?
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Or maybe we should switch topics. God is
mad.
God is non-binary also, apparently. But it is written into law that you have to create a safe workplace for your employees, as it probably should be. I think that's a good law. Part of that law is if someone identifies as transgender, you have to accommodate that. And if someone wants to use pronouns Zimzer or whatever, not calling them their pronouns is a form of workplace harassment. This is ideological cancer. It's a form of thought control in a very soft way, and I think it's bad. Do you think that's bad?
Do you think it would?
I mean, it's not thought control. It's like controlling people's language, which I don't think is a good thing. I think people should be able to say what they actually think as much as possible.
It was bad when we forced restaurants to allow black people to eat at them.
Probably not. No, I don't think so.
but it was subtle top-down thought control. Because no matter how you feel about black people, you have to let them in.
Yeah, but it didn't. No, because
And you
it
have to serve
didn't.
them.
No, because it wasn't. It didn't involve explicit lies.
Sure, it did. You had to bring people in. You had to serve them food.
Yeah, but
Did you not hear what you just said? The fuck?
It wasn't. It didn't involve explicit lies.
Yeah, you're not saying that, oh, these black people are actually white, so you have to like let them in because they're white. They're saying the rule to not allow black people into these restaurants is bad and you need to change it.
Sure, it did. You had to bring people in. You had to serve them food.
So what's the lie?
Yeah, but that's not forcing someone to say something about reality that isn't true and they know to be not true. It's a different opinion. It's saying I'm saying I'm forcing my values
sorry.
on
I
you.
didn't understand we were
Okay, there we go.
reducing gender to just like not being.
No. If someone says I am non-binary, or if a male says I am a female and I want to be referred to as she, her.
If a black man says I'm of equal status to white people and I should be able to eat here too.
Yeah, I support that. That's fine because the truth is
the racist restaurant owner also has to performatively support that, even though they don't. Otherwise, they get
okay. Well, I would say the difference is because it's true. Yes. So when I say, okay, I suppose it's not thought. It's not just it's thought control. It's not that it's just like top down forcing ideology on someone, because we do that with every law.
Sure,
you make murder illegal is forcing your ideology on someone.
Okay.
It's forcing a pathological false ideology, and it's requiring people who don't believe in it to buy into it, and they can get
outwardly buy into it.
Accused of workplace harassment if they don't refer to their coworker as Zimzer.
But if the white person in the 60s is pretty sure that they know the science and black people's IQ is definitely less than white people's IQ, they're being forced to act as though reality isn't true and that black people aren't less developed than them because their IQ is lower. They're literally
Hold on,
less
this is different from integrating.
Was that the claim being made?
sure that they know the science and black people
Workplace harassment if they don't refer to their coworker as Zimzer.
But if the white person in the 60s is pretty sure that they know the science and black people's IQ is definitely less than white people's IQ, they're being forced.
Individual white people's IQ is higher or lower, and they're not seen as like lower class because they have a lower IQ than a lot of white women. I feel like she's not making much sense here.
Forced to act as though reality isn't true. And that
I don't think this race versus trans or gender or whatever comparison is working very well, to be honest.
Black people aren't less developed than them because their IQ is lower. They're literally
Hold on,
less.
this is different from integrating restaurants. Your IQ.
Well, they have to treat them like they're equal and serve them like they're equal when they don't want to.
Yeah, but whether they're equal or not is a bit different to whether they're male or female. Like, that's the distinction when it comes to, you have to call this male person a she, otherwise it's workplace harassment. It's a bit different to, well, you have to consider blacks and whites like equal in society, you know?
Okay, but I believe it's good to treat white and black people. I believe white and black people are equal. That's my moral claim. That's a moral,
I think what you could get into is like, well, what happens if we let black people do all the same shit as white people versus what happens if we let anyone who says they're a woman enter like women's spaces, I guess.
I don't believe a person,
even if they live under what you view as not reality, equal and well.
Okay, can we not with the fucking slurs? Jesus Christ. So bear with me.
Even if they live under what you view as not.
Oh, it's gone. Is it gone? Let's see. Nope, there we are. Please do not use slurs in my chat. I don't want to get banned anyway.
On the workplace, to certain extents.
To certain extents, right? But if they require me to refer to them as she, her, they are now if a male requires me, but most times I absolutely would. But that's why the Zimzer example is better, because it's like I will never refer to another person as Zimzer. I simply won't. or an
If a
it.
woman, I'm curious. If a woman, so have you heard about the like MX, like mix, instead of Miss and Mrs. movement in the feminist rad fem space?
No, but I hate it already.
Okay. Well, say a woman says to you, I'd rather you use the letters MX instead of MS or RS. Is that, would you just refuse to do that? She's just not wanting to disclose whether she's married or not through her, whatever we call this, her
Mrs. and Mrs. Yeah, that's fair. I would say everything's case by case.
Sure.
However, I will never refer to another person as Zimzer. That's the line. Or it.
Yeah,
It's.
Sure, I would actually agree with. I think that like the way that we need to carve this out is like some sort of like, I don't know what language we need to use, but it needs to be like.
Yeah, I think she means something different with radfem than what you do, I'm guessing.
You can use any gendered pronouns. You don't get to make up new pronouns. Okay, no neo pronouns. Maybe it's just like a banning of neo pronouns.
But here's the
something
issue.
like that.
It is the
Not the banning.
Gender identity. Yeah, but gender identity is it's written into law as a protected class.
Yeah.
And so our workplace harassment. So the problem is we have these terms like gender identity, which are these ideological amorphous terms.
I agree. So I agree that they are amorphous.
Just the reason to make it concrete is like people point out like Project, what is it, 2025 or whatever. There's all kinds of nonsense in Project 2025. But like all of when people say like rolling back protections for gender identity and eliminating all that stuff, it's like, that's good if it removes the ability, the workplace harassment nonsense.
I guess I agree if I'm taking this like super literally, because I don't think trans should be conceived as gender identity. I think it's a really terrible way of conceiving it, and it's never going to work this way. I'm assuming he means this in like the hyper literal, like autistic kind of sense, though.
That is currently in place.
Like, in general, like trans people probably should have like fucking workplace protections and stuff. I don't want anyone to have to call me anything, otherwise they get in trouble though. Like I would not want to subject other people to that. So I don't know, in a workplace, if it came up, I'd be the one saying I don't actually care. But then at the same time, I suppose if a trans person gets called a he him when they're a trans woman and doesn't complain about it, then probably nothing happens. So I don't know.
No, like people's gender identity is not protected. People's rights as human beings are protected, but but gender identity is not a real thing.
If you were in a workplace with somebody who preferred MX instead of Miss, and you refused to do it, she could probably claim workplace harassment. Definitely could.
Yeah, he thinks that's a bad thing.
Maybe.
Not under gender.
Maybe.
Stuff, but
MX is miss. Yeah, because
like, when the fuck would you be using your like colleague's honorary title? Is it ever like needed? Like if you write a letter to someone, you can just put dear first name, last name. You don't have to put dear Miss, Mr, Mix, whatever last name. I don't know. It's a strange example.
Mrs. and MX are abbreviations.
Yeah, but she could probably do it.
Well, anyone could claim workplace harassment.
Yeah, of course.
Do you
want a world that would allow her to do so? So some guy.
I mean, I think it's fair enough to ask someone if you have a preference on which honorary, but like to then make it like a harassment thing, I think is too far. And we have to wonder when these kind of policies get put in, are they potentially going to build up like resentment towards trans people? In which case, is it a good idea? You know.
In the office.
Yeah.
He keeps on insisting on calling her Miss because he really wanted to make a point that she's not married. And she's like, you know what? Fuck you. MX.
Well, that's just bullying then.
Sure.
That's not a denial of reality. Hey,
yeah, if you can show that someone really wants to highlight specifically that someone is like unmarried and stuff, then that's weird kind of shit all by itself, I would say.
I demand that my coworker refers to me.
What do you mean by a denial of reality? Because if you're just denying gender, then I would argue you're denying reality.
Gender identity does not exist. That's for sure. Gender identity is a made up. Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, like of course it does.
Hold on, as you know, actually you may or may not know, I do have a minor in gender
I think it exists, but I think it's basically meaningless.
Studies. Are you aware of this?
We're saying it's just what you know yourself to be. Then it's pretty meaningless. Because people think they know all sorts of things about themselves that are not true. And it also means that if that's the root of transgenderism is to have a different gender identity, which is what you know yourself to be, irrespective of what you actually are, then what we are saying is that trans is a delusion. And I don't think trans is a delusion. So another reason why I think it's a really dumb thing to center trans around. It's not just about identity. I think you have to kind of decide you are something other than just a normal male or whatever. But that doesn't mean that it's just about, oh, I identify as something else. You're not trans just because you identify as something other than what you are. I think to say otherwise completely like belittles like the experiences of trans people that actually go out there trying to live as the other sex, which is not easy to do and comes with all of its own kind of issues and hardships. But we're saying that that person belongs in the same camp as someone that just calls themselves something other than what they are. I don't think that makes sense.
Cool. I've got a major in neuroscience.
Hold on. I minored in gender studies, which
yes,
means
I heard about this.
I'm a credentialed expert when it comes to women's issues.
I don't know if a minor's like a credential.
So I'm happy to educate.
I don't know if many people would go with that.
Kyla, as a woman, I'm happy to educate you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Look, I'll fight with PhDs on shit. Okay, I don't give a fuck what your degrees are, and you shouldn't give a fuck what my degrees are.
I know, I agree. I credentialism is bullshit.
Yeah.
I feel like the forced banter is like just holding up the conversation at this point. I wish they'd just kind of get on with it.
Gender identity. This is the more interesting philosophical conversation. And look, I agree. Look, not everything I talk about and not everything we talk about is whatever the most politically relevant issue is right now in this moment, because that's just...
It's spirit going bankrupt.
Well, it's philosophical. It's like, well, we're trying to understand what's true, and then that helps us solve every other problems. So on the issue of gender...
You would invoke gender dysphoria being the cause. Yeah, I don't know, because that's transmedicalism. I don't know if she's into transmedicalism. Usually like American like left-leaners are not, you know. And I also think that gender dysphoria isn't the same as trans. You can have gender dysphoria and then never transition. In that case, you're not trans, surely.
Gender identity. What is gender?
Like, honestly, these days I lean towards the most important part about being trans is like social transition.
I don't believe gender identity exists. I believe gender identity, there's as much empirical evidence of gender identity as there is evidence of the soul. And that's zero.
No. I would just...
And I'll say, gender and sex are different. Sex is male and female. And it's
This depends on what your conception of gender is. They haven't, like, I skipped a whole bunch. Maybe they define gender identity and I didn't see it. There's kind of a sliding scale, I guess, where on one side you've got how meaningful is this concept, and on the other you've got how easily can you prove it. And I feel like the more you can prove that gender identity exists, the less meaningful it is. Because if you're just saying, well, it's what you call yourself. If you think of yourself as a woman and you're female, then you're a cis woman. If you think of yourself as a woman but you're male, then you're a trans woman. You know, that kind of thing. But that's just a label you assign to yourself. That's not very meaningful. You can say it exists because everyone has their own conception of what sex they are and shit. But it's also just not very meaningful, you know?
It's by binary.
Gender's downstream, typically, of sex.
Yeah, and gender's masculine, feminine, and that's totally a spectrum.
Yeah.
Gender identity is just it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't exist.
Okay. Okay. Let me do a fun... Do you know much about the parietal lobe in the brain? It's the best.
It's my favorite lobe.
It's thank you. Okay. It is underappreciated, actually. It's all about the temporal lobe. They love the frontal lobe. Nobody thinks about the greatness of the parietal lobe.
Please just get to the point.
Is it limbic or cortical?
Neither.
Okay. I don't know. I know no neuroscience, so I implied that.
I don't even know how to answer that question.
I was asking a question.
It's not part of the limbic system. It is one of the lobes. Okay. So when you move your body around, okay, even if you close your eyes, do you know where your fingers are?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah. And if you have your eyes closed, can you touch the tip of your finger to the tip of your nose?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. How do you do that without seeing it?
Magic. Emergence.
So there's this incredible, we're starting to study it more. The parietal lobe is also very understudied, but we've been unlocking...
Neuroscience in general is in its infancy.
Really interesting stuff about like identity and self-perception with parietal lobe. It's also really important, weirdly enough, for
this. I know I'm very suspicious of this. Having talked about trans brains a lot recently.
attention, which suggests something about like unlocking really interesting stuff about like identity and self-perception with parietal lobe. It's also really important, weirdly enough, for attention, which suggests something about like self-identity is tied to your ability to attend as well to the world. It's a very interesting lobe. It's when people, I was about to say it's awesome when people get strokes there. It's not awesome when people get strokes there, but the
provides opportunities to study.
Yes, the studies that come out of like stroke victims, it's so fascinating.
Proprioception. I don't know what you mean.
Okay, before I nerdgasm out too much, the point. So the reason why you know where your finger is in space without your eyes closed, there's a number of reasons. Some of it is proprioceptive, right? But what essentially we have is this internal mental map of our body. We broadly know our shape and size. And
can you also just like feel, like, I don't know, man. Let's see where we're going with this. If it's just, oh, well, in trans people, we found that this part of the parietal lobe was smaller, and we don't know why, because they went on hormones, then I just don't want to know. I just don't want to know. I'm just sick of it. We can find tiny parts of the brain that are bigger and smaller, so we're blue in the face. What does it actually fucking mean? No one knows.
This is where, to some degree, phantom limb issues can come from. So when you cut off a limb, some people, they still feel their limb all the time. When they close their eyes, you can say to them, they'll have no arm, okay? I'm going to be very offensive here. They look like this, okay? And you go, touch your finger to the tip of your nose. And they go like this, okay? And they do the movement that would be required to do this, but they don't have a finger. And if you ask them, are you touching your finger to your nose? They will say, yes. Right? Because they have this mental map over top. Really interesting stuff coming out about eating disorders and body dysmorphia. So anorexic girls have, when they have to trace out their body shape, they have an extremely disordered understanding of what their body physically looks like to what it literally looks like. This is part of the thing that drives the anorexia. Yeah. Okay. There's good reason to believe as well that people with gender dysphoria are experiencing some of the same things. Their internal mental imagery is of a person without a penis. But then they open their eyes and look down. And
I didn't know about this at all, man. Trans people usually don't think that they have a different body to what they do.
Looks like. This is part of the thing that drives the anorexia.
Like, an anorexic person might well believe that they are fat when they are not. Most trans women don't believe that they are female or women. I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay. There's good reason to believe as well that people with gender dysphoria are experiencing some of the same things.
I hope we'll get into why there's good reason, because I've never heard of this.
Their internal mental imagery is of a person without a penis.
This is not true of me. I don't know. Is it true of any trans people? They're what? Hang on.
Some of the same things. Their internal mental imagery is of a person with
internal mental imagery is of someone without. No, you've still got a penis. It's not that you don't think you have one, it's that you have one and you don't want one. Niche psychological shit. I mean, this isn't niche, this is fucking weird. What's she talking about? I mean, this is just structure differences again. So whenever you see something about this is bigger or smaller in men or women, often it's based on tiny sample sizes, and often you'll find other studies that just say straight up the opposite. What is this saying? Oh, it's the sex differences. It isn't even to do with trans. So what is this based on? Like, where are we getting this from? I'm confused. There's this Sarah Burke thing, but this one I'm pretty sure. This one found that what was it? Fractional anisotropy. They anisotropy. Yeah, I've seen this one before. So is this the parietal lobe? They were measuring white matter connections. But they were saying that actually trans people, when you control for sexuality, just kind of look similar to other people of their sex. Yeah, I don't know. What evidence is there for any of this? Brain network interactions. Differences in connectivity found in the frontal lobe with project. They're just finding differences, but everyone's is different, isn't it?
Without a penis. But then they open their eyes and look down, and there's a penis. Okay.
Yeah.
So this we know definitely exists, and this gendered experience.
Body dysmorphia, transgender people.
Yeah, I just don't think trans people usually have. I mean, body dysmorphia more than anything refers to like obsessing over particular parts of your body, and believing it's something other than what it is like one of the ways you get there, I think. Well, I don't know about any of this. This is gonna be cursed. I shouldn't have. I don't know what I was looking for there. So yeah, structural differences. They found a whole 17 trans women for this study, and then 29 trans men. Wow. I know all these fucking studies are practically worthless, to be honest. I don't know what the fuck she's on about with this. I don't know what evidence there is to say that the parietal lobe is like connected to being trans in this way.
Who are transgender have body dysmorphia. That's why they
almost every area of the brain is larger in men than women because men are larger on average.
That's why they want to do things to their body, do body modification.
Well, it's probably not the same thing as anorexia, but yeah, it's something similar.
Well, sure, but it's in the class of dysmorphia.
Well, that would be like saying person with phantom limb syndrome, like who can close their eyes and touch their finger to their nose, is like having dysmorphia. And it's like, well, they're not having dysmorphia. It's
okay, it depends on what word we're going to use. My point is gender, but what does it have to do with gender identity?
Well, what this talks about is that there is a mental understanding of identity that somewhat conforms with the mental map that we have. So if we can understand that, we can understand that people have.
Yeah, the difficulty I'm having here is if you're a pre-op trans woman, you know you have a penis. Like in almost all cases, like I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Not blown away by this. I don't know what the fuck she's getting half of this shit from.
Have these gendered experiences that are separate from their sexual experiences. Correct?
Well, what is a gendered experience?
Being treated like a woman or a man, regardless of which you actually are.
Viewing yourself as somebody who is feminine in body shape.
What?
And that people have these gendered experiences that are separate.
What does it have to do with the gender identity?
Well, what this talks about is that there is There is a mental understanding of identity that somewhat conforms with the mental map that we have. So if we can understand that, we can understand that people have these gendered experiences that are separate from their sexual experiences. Correct?
Well, what is a gendered experience?
Viewing yourself as somebody who is feminine in body shape.
Is that an experience? Am I having a fucking stroke? What the fuck is she talking about? Is this like all of her content? What the fuck is she talking about? I'm so fucking confused. Like, if it's this difficult to make a good case for like gender identity, then just don't bother, to be honest.
Feminine in body shape. I would say female in body. I mean, feminine is... So
okay, she's stuffing her face now. Wow. When does she stop talking? When does she stop eating? Why would you eat during a debate? That's like rude.
Sex, because like it's also like this is why we say.
Hang on, I had to skip a whole bunch. Where's the transcript? As if it's gonna understand what the fuck she's saying, but. Gendered brains argument. Okay, so she's wrong and I should just disregard her. I'm glad. The gendered brains thing is not very strong. It's not a good foundation for building beliefs on, especially about gender identity. Gendered experience, body dysmorphia, trans people who are transgender are having body dysmorphia. Disagree. I don't think it's the same thing. Similar to anorexia, probably don't want to make that argument to rightoids. Okay.
Like gender is obviously downstream of sex because like breasts is more feminine than masculine. But some men have breasts. Some men have bigger breasts than I do. But we still see them as like broadly men because everything else about them, right? You can literally have a man with severe gynecomastia who has breasts, but he has a beard.
Ballet dancing is feminine, and more females do it, and more females are, or like even like preschool, like high agreeable. I mean, this, you know, the psychometrics obviously, so it's like masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
There's like clusters, and males and females tend to correlate. My point is, gender identity is not a term that means anything in terms of being a legally protected category. Because right now we understand it as,
I think it should be. It seems that persistent and universally over time, people consistently report an experience of...
Yeah, people report, that's the problem. Should we be having protected categories that you can just report your way into? That you can just say, I'm of this category now?
Their gender not matching their sex. And there is a
number... I suppose you could technically say it's similar for like gay stuff, but...
Number of milieu of symptoms. There's a number of sequelae of symptoms that come from that, and a lot of those symptoms are in conversation with the culture around them, which makes sense in the same way that Tourette's symptomologically has a lot of common symptoms, but also present very culturally. Not every single Tourette's person screams the N-word, but some do.
Okay. And probably more than we think. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. And they want to.
Wait, what does it mean for your gender to not match your...
Oh, is she gonna eat the whole time? For fuck's sake, man. Why is everyone like fucking hell-bent on making the most unwatchable content possible? I don't want to listen to someone fucking eating. I thought we were having a debate. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Gendered brains is a great argument. It really isn't, but okay, man. Gendered brains, like, our brains are bigger on average if we're male than female. Males are on average bigger than females. Whenever there's this whole thing about, the corpus callosum being bigger in women, it's always really bad evidence. Then we look at further evidence, half of it doesn't even corroborate it. All we really point to is like size differences, and then the main thing is like hormone differences that tend to sort of affect our behavior in different ways. The brains themselves, there's very little evidence that they're really differentiated in any way. And if we're using it for our pro-trans arguments, then we're pushing towards a place where we can say, well, your brain doesn't look female, so you can't be a trans woman, which no one wants. So I actually think these arguments are fucking dog shit, to be honest. I don't see her stuffing her face after this.
Body.
Okay.
Is if the treatment for that issue is passing as the other gender, for example, and transition, which...
Yeah, if you have an internal representation in your mind of being a female, feminine, or more feminine body, I just don't think this exists, really. I just don't think this is real. I don't think most trans people have a mental map of themselves being, like, a different thing, you know what I mean? Wait till someone's debating while sitting on the toilet. Women still have larger areas of the brain. Which areas of the brain are larger in women? Which specific areas of the brain are larger in women? I'll wait.
There's most of the evidence points in that direction.
Okay, but what if passing requires you to get other people to refer to you as female or male?
Well, I would say that there's two things. This is the things that trans won't like about me. Number one, the burden is on trans people to try their best to pass.
If you want to be seen as the gender you're trying to pass as, then yes, you need to try your best to pass. Otherwise, you should. Thicker cortices is not necessarily true. That was in... You really should have watched my video, man. Jesus Christ. If you're going to bring these kind of arguments, you really should have watched my fucking video. Where is it? That was in Dump the Dimorphism. There was a whole bunch of studies that found either no real difference or that men's were bigger. What they also found was that MRI scans tended to find either no difference or women's being thicker. But then post-mortem studies found men's being thicker, and post-mortem studies tend to be higher resolution. So we don't actually know which is thicker. And I'd be willing to bet if I looked at all the other ones, it actually depends on the study. And a lot of these studies are going to be like tiny sample sizes. We're not going to know what any of it fucking means because it's just the sizes of tiny parts of the brain as it is. Even things like the BNST, the bed stria nucleus of the terminalis, whatever it's called. Bed nucleus of the stria terminalis. That's been considered to be like sexually dimorphic for a long time, but even that has research to suggest it's not the case. And a lot of the problem is we just say it's bigger as a rule, but then when you adjust for like cranium size and stuff, a lot of these things are actually quite proportionate. There's really very little difference physically.
Because by and large, when we look at people, we assign pronouns based on how they...
Yeah, totally. Blair White's a she, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure, exactly. Obviously, right?
So yeah, man and woman, in terms of what you transition to rather than what is biologically male or female, really are just vibes. Like, if your vibe is woman enough as a trans woman, people are going to see you as a woman. You're not actually a woman, but you get the next best thing is that people think you are anyway.
Those contrapoints.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there is a burden on trans people, especially trans people who want to be known. If a male signed at birth wants to be going by she, her, they ought to do everything they can that performance-wise, when people look at them, they go, that's a she, her. Right? Because I don't think most trans people, for example, aren't running around being like, you must call me.
Well, I don't want to take any supporting arguments I can if I don't believe the arguments. And if I think an argument is bad, then I don't think other people should make them either. And I think it's unhelpful to trans people to make bad arguments, supposedly in our defense. I think that actually makes things worse.
She, her. Usually, in my experience, because I know lots and lots of trans people, it's a very gentle, apologetic, embarrassed.
Totally.
I'm so sorry. It's actually she.
And there's virtually no scenario where I would not use their preferred pronouns unless they...
I'm gonna struggle getting through this. I can't listen to people fucking eat. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about with a lot of this stuff. The best you can do is bet on this hopefully turning up something sometime in the future, because right now the brain difference stuff is just even the image is like fucking agitating me. Yeah, I don't know. Talk about Rachel McKinnon.
Biological female as well, because I'm made of biological stuff. So it's not just that my license says female.
I'm sure I just reject that person.
Okay.
Really. Yeah.
You've passed the litmus test.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've always been a very aggressive. I mean, I started my career fighting on neo-pronouns. Like, I think one of my first popular debates was me telling people, no, I'm sorry, including neo-pronouns, part of the trans movement, is harmful to the trans movement, right? And
so is the trans brains shit. If you can work out that neo-pronouns are stupid and useless and there's no point, you probably should be able to work out that there isn't very much to the trans brains argument and it's a waste of time. And if this is the best we've got, then no wonder there's been such a backslide. Because when people look into it, all they have to do is look at the sample sizes of most of their research. Look at any kind of meta-study. And it's pretty clear that we know next to nothing about this field. And the best these people can do is hope that they're right down the line, because we have no way of ascertaining that anyone has a mental model that sees himself as more like a female. But I don't know. I don't remember being like that. It was about wanting to be a female, you know? It's about just not liking being male. We're trying to make it something so much more deep than it actually fucking is. You just don't want to be a male. You're not happy being a fucking male. So you transition. Like, I don't know. I think this whole thing is cooked. I think this whole thing is fucking cooked. But I'm glad to see that we're just openly grasping at straws at this point. Neo-pronouns were advocated for by people with DSD conditions. Wait, does like Z0 actually refer to something specific then? Yeah, I think most of the comments are going to be about immigration. Yeah, I don't know. Anything interesting here? What was this? Hang on. What was this video? I don't fit in with the trans community, and I'm finally saying why. I don't know if this is going to be relatable or not, but I don't know. I quite like this Alizea person, if I'm honest. Occasionally there's trans fucking creators that I'm like, you know what? This person's fine. So I don't know. Let's see what this video is. Sorry if I'm not super into it. I haven't been into streaming for a while, to be honest. Doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I'm much more interested in writing stuff these days. And I will have a new video, hopefully at the start of next week, about Helen Weberly. I think it'll be much more interesting than what the fuck I'm doing here. But hey, I don't know. Like the stream, etc. Let's see what this video is.
Welcome back to another video. My name is Alizea and I'm your favorite black transsexual. Get up into the bed per whatever. I'm back.
This isn't sped up, by the way.
Back. How are you wonderful, amazing people doing today, girl? I hope you're doing amazing. Thank you for asking. Period. Alrighty, y'all. So we're gonna dive into today's wonderful, amazing video, girl. Let's cut to the chase, girl. Today's video, I'm gonna just be sitting over here doing like, I don't even know, a rant video, but I guess a get to know me video, girl, because I'm bored. So let's dive into it today. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like I said, I'm not like I'm not like your typical trans woman, let me say it like that. And I am very different. And I put it in my keynotes, girl, like, you know, I put the little topics and stuff of what I want to talk about, girl. So, you know,
HSTS be like, I'm just not like most trans women.
Beware of what I'm about to say, girl. Let's just say it like that. Viewer discretion is advised, right? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I might be weird, but like the reason why I say I'm not like most trans women that you come across is because like, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and this might be a little controversial to say, but I don't see myself as a woman, you know. Maybe it's because, you know, sometimes I can get bricks, sometimes I can get a woman, whatever the fuck. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I see myself as a trans woman. I don't see myself as a woman. Reason being because I don't go through what women go through. I go through what trans people go through. I do not like really going into the women's restroom. I only go because there's not gender neutral bathrooms, girl. No tea, no shade. And also, I don't know if it's like not even no respect thing, but like I just like to stay out of the problem. Like I like to stay away from issues. And me being who I am, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little just, how do I say it like this? I'm just a little bit, you know, I'm scared of straight people. I really am. And also, I kind of just see the beauty in being a trans woman more than I see the beauty in being a woman, because most trans women, you know, you ask your typical trans woman who actually is on hormones.
LARPing? I don't know about LARPing. They clearly like drag an awful lot. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, though.
Who's actually doing the surgeries, who's actually doing everything that they need to do. A lot of them are saying, you know, I want the bottom surgery. I don't want the bottom surgery. And I know that might be a little controversial to say, but in my head, if there's any complications that come with that surgery and I have a gaping hole for the rest of my life, I'm going to be messed up.
This content is better than what we were watching before. I'm not saying it's better. This person isn't eating and talking at the same time, which helps.
Up in the head, and I'm not.
Like, if people want me to watch their debates, they probably shouldn't be stuffing their fucking face in the middle of them. That's just like basic, you know? Like, what the fuck? Like, Jesus Christ, is that something I'm gonna have to deal with? That I'll try to fucking have a conversation with someone, I'll just be like stuff in their face. Excuse, could you not have fucking waited? Could you not have eaten and then fucking gone on fucking stream? This is worse than fucking, who is it that does that all the time? The fucking H3 fucking podcast. It's like, not only do you have to try and determine what the fuck he's saying through all the coughing and like tics and shit constantly, which I guess isn't his fault and all that shit. But then like half of it's coming through his fucking mouthfuls of food and shit. It's like, how do people watch this shit, man?
Even gonna want to be here. So I just rather stick with my princess wand. That's just me though. And also, I don't really like straight men, nor would I ever date a straight man. I know this might be a little ghetto to say, but I'm going to be real with you guys. Like, a lot of these...
That's odd for an HSTS. I thought they normally transition to date straight men.
Straight men, you know, they only want one thing and that's it. And I'm not looking for that.
As opposed to gay men.
Kind of getting older to where I just like... How do I even say it like this? I just want to breathe. I just want to like live life without even... Bitch, I'm talking in circles, my bad. But I don't want to be used as a fucking object. Let's say it like that. And baby, we too goddamn grown to be going to Pound Town every 5.
I think this person's quite young, but my understanding of like gay men is that this is kind of how they treat each other an awful lot, but sure.
Fucking business days. Bitch, that's boring. Hang it up fucking flat screen, girl. I'm sorry, girl. And then
I see someone with cardboard butterflies all over their hair. Women ain't the first thing that comes to mind. Well, this person already said they don't see themselves as a woman.
Also, because now I'm in Atlanta, bitch, a lot of...
You're not cosplaying a woman or LARPing as a woman if you're not saying you're a woman to start with. Like, at that point, you're just kind of doing your own thing, and I respect that.
The quote-unquote straight men, let me say it like this, the straight men, girl, you know, they like to go for the feeling. And what I mean by that is, like, these men out here, girl, they want to, like, basically not use protection. And bitch, I'm in Atlanta. I don't want to die. So I'm like, I'm a little scared, just a little bit scared, just a tiny bit scared. And moving on to that, I also feel, in my personal opinion, I love bisexual, pansexual. I just like gay men. I think I'm more attracted to that, which this is why I say I don't feel like I'm your average trans woman, because I also forgot to say, yes, I do believe that I'm a transgender person.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very suboptimal dating strategy, isn't it? I'm transitioning to becoming a woman. By the way, I only date gay men.
I don't even know if it's non-binary, because
you wonder how much of it is about like identity or anything, and maybe identity doesn't come into it much for them.
I don't see myself calling myself a they them. Bitch, don't call me no fucking they them. I'm sorry. Don't mean to be controversial, but I don't see myself as a they them. I see myself as a woman. I see myself as a trans woman. Let me say it like that, because I don't know. I can't, like, I feel weird being called sir. Let me say it like that. No shade. I do feel weird being called sir. Does it bother me? No, because bitch, whatever you see, that's what you see. And if you see a man, you see a man. Like, I can't get mad about that. That's just how I fucking think. I know not everybody thinks like me, which is, a little rocky or whatever, get up into it. But also, I don't like to
See, I don't agree with everything this person says, and some of it doesn't really make any sense to me, but like, I can't not like this person. I'm sorry.
I don't like to dress up all the time, which I do understand now that I am in Atlanta. I do have to dress up all the fucking time, which I'm like, fuck, if I'm just staying in these 4 fucking walls, or I'm staying in this apartment complex, I'm staying like this, girl. I'm going to just, bitch, what I'm trying to say, I'm staying in the body. I'm minding my business, girl, because no tea, no shade, girl. I do not feel like getting dressed up all the time. And then another thing is, yeah,
they meant to say trans woman rather than woman.
I don't want to look like a blow-up doll when I get surgeries. I know some people are going to feel offended when I say this, but I know in order to make money, if you are one of those workers, you got to get the BBL, you got to get some liposuction, you got to have that hourglass figure or whatever. And no shade. If I were to get surgeries, I want to look natural. I don't want to look too dollish. Like, I'm already trans. I already look trans because I have all this stuff in my face. I got all this stuff, on my hair and stuff like that. So, I already look trans, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to look like a blow up doll. And also, I don't want to fix my teeth. You see the teeth right here, I don't really want to fix that because I love my face. I really do love my face. I love what I see in the mirror. I look like Alizea. Like, you're not going to see another face like this. You're not going to see another personality like this. You're not going to see another person like this. And I think that's just so incredibly beautiful. I think it comes with so many benefits. I think it comes with so much love and abundance. And I just love being my fucking self. No tea, no shade. And then, also,
I don't really understand what they're saying, but if they're honest with themselves and ain't hurting anyone, there's no real thing to question. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I like this person. I didn't agree with everything, but I know you can't not. Like, I think the biggest thing is like they're actually trying to present some kind of like confidence and positivity. And maybe I just watch so few trans people that do that, and so many of them just want to act like they're being fucking murdered literally as soon as they step out the door and shit like that, and like their life isn't worth living because they're trans. It's like, why the fuck transition then? Just don't fucking bother. If you're going to transition and then feel like life's not worth living because society's a bit mean to you sometimes, then don't fucking bother. So it's nice to hear from someone that actually tries to take it in a positive direction and actually has some like self-confidence in them.
To add on to this, I do not like talking about other people's transitions or calling them a brick. I just made a YouTube video about me falling out with like a trans girl. No shade. That video, I don't know if it's gonna get posted after this or before this, but I really put this in my notes because I had to realize I do not like people talking down on other people's transitions and calling them bricks and shit like that, because it fucks with people. It really doesn't fuck with me personally. Only reason why I'm saying that is because I can look in the mirror and I could be very comfortable that I am a trans person. Like, I'm not going to be a delusional person to be like, oh, I am a woman. Bitch, I was born in like, I was born a man. I have a princess one. Like, that's me though. And it doesn't bother me with saying that because, like, I do love every part of me. I do love the blessing that it becomes.
Okay, hang on. I wanted to look at something else really quick. Proprioception is just an internal GPR. What was it? That not so erudite person said that that was to do with the parietal lobe. Parietal lobe. Yeah, I don't know if it necessarily has anything to do with body image. But the problem is, what I watched of that debate, there was no actual there was no substantiation of why this has anything to do with body image. They do it because they want free stuff. Hey, maybe. So conscious proprioception is communicated by this to the cerebrum, this to the cerebellum. Yeah, erudite was saying that proprioception is to do with the parietal lobe. I mean, I'm looking at fucking Wikipedia, obviously, but it's suggesting it's the cerebellum, not the parietal lobe. I don't know, man. Like, we're really, like, shooting in the dark with this kind of shit. But what about this? Can we link this to gender identity somehow? It's just like a crapshoot. Like, what is this in service of? Anyway, I wanted to look at this really quickly. Transgender schizophrenic Utah, someone from Utah, I guess. Murdered parents because mom interfered with genital surgery. Mia Bailey, born as Colin Troy Bailey, shot both of his parents in the head. Probably shouldn't shoot people. Mia said that he was scheduled to have his gender reassignment surgery, but claims that his mother put a stop to it. So how old was this person? In the coldest statement ever, Mia says she can't say sorry to save her life, apparently. I had one thing going on and she took it away from me. She was a target because she betrayed me.
You want to know the specifics, but yeah.
Is that hormone replacement
therapy?
Yeah. So being 28 years old now, at what age did you know that you wanted to transition?
I mean,
wait, hold up.
So being 28 years old.
28? So, I mean, it depends, obviously. But, like, their mother put a stop to them having gender reassignment surgery when they're 28? Like, that's odd to me. I don't know. There has to be, like, other factors. Otherwise, I don't know why. Like, at a certain point, a person is responsible for themselves, right?
Now, at what age did you know that you wanted to transition?
People seem to believe anything you tell them with neurology. Yeah, that's the impression I got. That's one of the reasons I really wanted to talk about, like, gendered brains and trans brains. There's just so much nonsense around it. And people are so desperate and grasping at straws to find good arguments for the existence of gender identity, or that it functions the way that we want it to. Maybe there just isn't any. Like, what then? Well, trans people still exist regardless, right? It doesn't matter if there's no biological basis to it and it is just a social thing. Like, I don't see why it matters.
I mean, since I was born, but...
Probably wanted mom to pay for it. I mean, if it was already scheduled, then I don't know what the issue would have been.
At the earliest.
So being 28 years old now, at what age did you know that you wanted to transition?
I mean, since I was born, but the earliest I can remember is 2.
Did your parents know prior to that?
My parents knew. My mom knew for 3 years since 2019.
Okay.
July.
Was that a big topic of contention between you and her?
It wasn't a huge topic, but she was more like, how can I put it? Not very supportive. She was in shock, just didn't say anything. And then she's never supportive since. And she kept calling me my nickname and a bunch of other stuff, so.
Mia says she was scheduled to have her long-awaited gender reassignment surgery the following month in July.
So they have a payment plan, and I had insurance, so they paid me about half of it at least, and I was going to do like a payment plan. And my dad was going to help me with a little bit of it, so.
According to Mia, her surgery was all set to go until her mother put a halt to it.
What led up to it was, I got a call from my social worker.
Gotta say though, we're getting surgery, like, what is the hair doing? What is this look? It's a bit confusing, I don't know.
From the hospital. And,
to be fair, if you're trans, then you've almost definitely gone through an awful haircut phase. Not even if you're trans, even if you're like non-binary or a little bit fucking gay or whatever, you've probably gone through a phase of having the worst haircuts in the fucking world.
Apparently kind of broken hip in a way. They shared the details of the hospital, but the worst one of us all was my mother contacting them to say no to the surgery. And I got a call from my social worker from the hospital. And like apparently kind of broken hip in a way. They shared the details of the hospital, but the worst one of us all was my mother contacting them to say no to the surgery. And, well...
So your mother contacted the hospital?
Yep. And so I knew I could probably appeal it with just if that, but she wouldn't. Let's just say I was very furious, and I asked her, like, I don't want to hear excuses. I want to hear, like, an explanation, and I'm sorry, and I'll do something about it.
Okay.
Anyway, she can't say sorry to save her life, apparently. And,
Okay. Obviously it's Twitter and they want to find the...
You want to know the specifics.
The shit they can amplify in the coldest statement ever. Like, I don't know, man. I hate Twitter. What, Elon Musk? Wow. Oh, Elon. Oh, Elon. Look at how bad this bit was, Elon. Elon, look at how bad this bit was. Yeah, I don't know, man. You probably shouldn't shoot your parents. At the same time, when you're 28, why are your parents getting involved on whether you're having trans surgery at that point? Very strange. I don't know. I've read elsewhere that they had a lot of other mental health issues. Oh yeah, it says schizophrenic. I mean, that's the thing, you know. Some of these people, they might feel like the only thing they have going on for them is that they might be able to transition and be happy as something else. And it works for some of them, it doesn't for others. But I guess you got to tread carefully around this person's like care and stuff. Like, if they've got pre-existing stuff, then maybe you should be worried about like cutting this kind of thing off. I don't know. It seems like a rash decision on the parents' part, but then I don't know. Obviously nothing justifies shooting them. Who's this cringy fucking loser posting this, by the way? I don't know. He seems like a cringy loser. depending on parents to pay, and had no use for them when they refused. But it sounds like there's more to it than just them refusing to pay. They actually contacted the hospital. Fucking dude. What is this? What is this? Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, like, I told them I was going to kill myself. Mental health declining is why I needed that surgery. It is a dangerous mindset. Like, your mental health's fucked up in general. And you think that getting surgery and shit like that is going to help with that. It might not. Especially when you've got other stuff going on. And you don't really know if it's this person's fault, you know. If they're being kind of suggested to, that this will solve all their problems, and that really isn't the case. But I don't know what this person's like social situation was. Yeah, there's a debate between Buck Angel and Helen Weberly. I mean, I agree with Buck Angel more than Helen Weberly, but I don't like either of them particularly. I guess I'll watch it tomorrow. I need to finish my video. It's almost done, and I need to record it, which I'll probably do on Saturday. So hopefully I'll be able to post it around Monday-ish, Tuesday. I don't know if that's going to change much. Because, well, I mean, Buck Angel, I can't imagine Buck Angel being an especially good debater, but it's him and someone else versus her and someone else. And for the most part, like, Helen Weberly is fucking infuriating to listen to in debates because she's extremely, like, evasive and slippery and pedantic and very clearly is happy for debates to get stalled in, like, you know, or to use this word, and it's better to use this word, like, constantly. It's fucking annoying to listen to. To be honest, I think it's going to be unsatisfying as fuck, and instead people should watch my video that I'm going to make because it's going to have a lot more information. Do you know what else is interesting? Almost no gender critical channels have really talked about Helen Weberly all that much. Especially like the UK ones. You'd think a few of them, like Mr. Menno or Jack Jewel or whatever. Peak Trans, you know. None of them have really gone into any real detail about gender GP. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know, man. Yeah, when is... which channel is that on? Is it on Cambridge Union? Yeah, okay. So is this here? I might well watch this tomorrow, to be honest. I'll save it to watch later. Because I'm probably going to have more spare time tomorrow, so it'll be something to do. My viewership is dog shit, and I don't make anything doing this anymore, but it is what it is. I don't know. If I keep making interesting videos, maybe that'll help my situation. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably watch this tomorrow. I wouldn't have any hopes for this, to be honest. I agree with the prompt. I think that the activism of someone like Helen does fail its community. She says a lot of really bizarre, really, like, ill thought out stuff. I'm sure it was her who said something about, oh, you know, everyone gets taken seriously by doctors except trans people, which is completely fucking untrue. Sorry, my computer is chugging. But yeah, I wouldn't hold up much hope, to be honest. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it, so I'll probably stop in a sec. Yeah, hopefully I'll finish my video. And we'll see what happens with this debate, but it's probably going to be shit.